Gajananam Bhuta Ganadi Sevitam Kapita Jambu Falasara Bakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinasha Karanam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Gurave Namaha, Sri Gurave Namaha. Did all of you get the details about the 3 horoscopes on Patreon?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. All
But
those
we
who have...
When the event happened, the year of the event, Guruji.
I'll see if she is able to join from the train. Okay.
Okay, Guruji.
I don't think, it's... How will they manage to... Yeah, I'm sending her the details. And I went through a 2-day session learning Ashtamangala Prashnam. Yeah, she says unable to join. Okay, I'll ask her the date, sorry. Date of...
Sir, system is little slow. I'm bringing it up. Like, give me a couple of minutes.
Namaste to everyone. We've already
Namaste,
done the
Guruji.
prayer. Namaste. We have already done the prayer. And I've given the details of the 3 horoscopes. The unfortunate event that happened to the sun. The sun's horoscope is also available. The details are available. Those who are having either Sri Jyoti or Jagannath Hora, please feed it into the system and you can start sharing. I've already done this before, but so the lady is now, the mother is traveling. All she wants is to know whether justice will be given. Okay. Because the event has already happened, but she does not know who is the culprit or what's happening. I hope you might have got the details of the people involved. In case you want it, maybe the chat. Let me see if it works. Yes.
Sir, do I have ability to share, sir?
Yeah, you have. You have. And I also pasted the details, birth details. When you say my details, it is the lady, the mother who's traveling the train right now, then the husband's details and son. Looks like she's suspecting her husband. Okay, the case is in court.
The boy is so little, Guruji.
Yeah, very sad, very sad.
Very sad.
Yeah, unfortunate, she kept asking me many times, when can we do the session? But the day when I committed to you, she said on that day I'm traveling, but I didn't want to change the date. Okay.
It's a similar case happened, Guruji, one more, like 2-3 weeks back in Texas.
Oh.
Similar case, husband killed.
Oh my God.
Killed a child. The child is just 7 years old. I think Kashi should be knowing that.
I see.
And he's an Indian. He's born in, the parents are from Chennai.
Oh.
He is working for a Capital One, his company. And he was in a very good position, and the Capital One, everybody collects, he was very good and silent, and everybody shocked actually. It's in close to the Frisco, Texas, which is a Dallas area. And,
yeah, if an event happens, maybe if it is karmic in nature, it always repeat a number of times in this world.
Right, and also father also tried to kill himself, but he survived. And I don't know what's going on, I think. Kashi Guruji should be telling if he has some.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the case.
Oh, you don't know this case, Kashi?
No, I'm not aware of this case. I've moved to New Jersey area.
Oh, you moved to New Jersey? Okay.
Yeah.
I think Soumya should be knowing. She's from Texas.
Yeah, I don't know this particular case. I do know about the Indian man who drew the Tesla in California and tried to kill all 4, himself, wife, and the 2 kids. But how karma plays a role, none of them died. And they fell from 300 feet, right? And now there's a case against him.
Yeah,
for
Tesla car saved his family, and I think.
yeah, and he must be feeling like you can see it on the camera. Like if you see the video footage of the firefighters, he's just shocked that how did we not die, because he was a family annihilator, basically suicide murder case. Like he wanted to murder his family and also kill himself in that car accident, but they all survived, all four.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that case. I'm sorry, I don't know this other one.
Oh, this is yeah. It came recently.
Recently,
Just
okay.
3 weeks back. It's in yeah. It's in the Frisco area.
Okay.
Sir, what chart do you want me to bring it up? Mother's, dad's, or son's chart, sir? I have dad chart which is up right now.
I mean, you can open the multiple Jagannatha Hora, same thing, and you can.
I did, but I cannot share all three at the same time.
Oh, I mean, you can
All
share,
three.
overlap like, and click on that one and make it smaller windows of each one so that you can get side by side. If you make other two are smaller, so then you can.
I think you can go one by one, right? Instead of putting it all together.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Sir.
You do one because the mind cannot work on 3 horoscopes at one time. Actually, astrology itself is so complex. So when you ask multiple things at one time, you won't be able to get any proper answer. First, look at it like this. One, when she says justice, I think she's hinting at her husband should be punished. So maybe you can start with husband's horoscope and see if he's going to jail or is he convicted or, running a bad time like that.
Yeah, that chart is up, sir.
Yes. So,
sir, the time when it happened, sir.
Did I give the details in the? Just go through the chat. Date of murder is given.
January 26th, 2021.
I think where it was found was also given. I think dead body was found on 26th Jan between 10 to. It's all happening around Aurangabad district, right? Bihar. Okay. So just go through this. Actually, we have done this before. For those of you might know, and I've been through 2-day course on Prashnam, what they call Ashtamangala Prashnam, by Mahadev and Iyer. So I'm a little tired, so that's why I'm not participating. I want two or three of you to volunteer and take up the co-host and conduct it, actually, by taking turns, asking people what do they think, what is their conclusion. And once I do the video, after uploading it, I'll give the link to the mother. Okay? Who wants to volunteer? Please raise your hand. One is already up, right? Sridevi. Sridevi is here, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, she's only the one who's sharing it. Okay.
I'm sharing, sir.
Yeah, right. So I make you the co-host. So now you'll have control. In case somebody makes, like you need to mute someone, you can do it.
Okay, sir.
Then Kishorji wants to participate.
To volunteer, sir.
Kishorji, yes. Okay.
Gurubhyo Namah, Guruji.
Hari Om. So let me see. Yes, you are also now co-host. Does that take away the co-host from? Oh no, it doesn't. Okay. Anybody else? Of course, everybody else can participate. Make some strong, astrological, statements. Oh, already some text has come. 26th, the Saturn's number. The body was found. Okay. So sad.
Father just started Ashtamasani, Guruji.
Okay. Like that. Please, spend time discussing this, and also please document it as much as you can. Astrology, is so much dependent on documentation. Because when people watch the video again,
Her father, like fifth lord in 12th, fifth lord in 8th house.
Yeah.
Guruji.
So make some firm commitment. I mean, same, statements by looking at the chart, whatever comes to your mind in connection to the event, because we know the event. The event has happened. Okay. So, and Anu, you said he started Ashtamasani. So, after making the statement, you must complete it with the output. What do you expect from this? Because the mother will be looking for answers. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe
It's not a good time for him. So
yeah. So please commit that in the statement. Father just started Ashtamasani. And in Ashtama, what are the things that usually happens, right? Something bad can happen. If anyone is interested, maybe on 24th Jan 2021, somewhere around 11 p.m. like that, or maybe midnight, early hours of 25th Jan 2021, can try. Okay.
So Guruji, I just want to ask, they knew the exact time basically of the murder? Like
No.
11 p.m.
It is only rough.
evening?
Maybe postmortem they would have said that.
Okay.
Soumya, you are echoing again.
Oh, sorry, Guruji.
Soumya, do you want co-host rights? You want to participate actively?
Sure, Guruji. I'll put my mic. I'll correct my mic first. Yeah. You can give me co-host.
Yes. Well, I think you can only make 2 people co-host, is it? Oh.
Namaskaram, sir. Vinod joining. Belated happy birthday, sir.
Thank you, Vinod.
How are you feeling, sir?
Yeah, I'm okay. But I went through this 2-day course on Prashnam. But the head is still, when I turn my head here and there, it gives me a sense of dizziness. I need to expect it if you look into my Dasha and Antardasha. Okay. This is a horoscope of family, 3 horoscopes. I think maybe you are aware of it. The son was murdered, but not sure. But they say, the mother suspects father, that is her husband killed the son. So all the 3 horoscopes are available. Details are there in the chat, and I think in that group where I shared also I put it.
Yes, sir. I saw that, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So please help conduct this session, because I have already participated in the first session, but the mother wants some another session. She's traveling in the train, I think, right now, and so she says the signals are not good, otherwise she would have participated. Okay, so now
very difficult situation.
Yeah. Now she said something else. 1 minute. What is that? One guy was arrested on 4th. Okay, I forgot to copy paste that. I got some more information from the lady. Everyone in the meeting. To everyone. Yes, one guy was arrested on 4th. And he's in jail. He's not telling the truth. But in spite of being in the jail, he's not telling. Okay. So please try to help whenever you make a statement. One text is also good, and also voice, because we have a horoscope. And please try to do justice.
But some voice is there, sir. Some disturbances.
Is there? From whose side? From my side?
No, it's not now, sir. It's not now.
No, while I'll switch off.
It's not from you, I think, sir. Someone corrected it. I think.
Sir, I have a question, sir. Why the mother is suspecting her husband?
Is there any reason, sir?
Yes, sir. That's what my question is too.
Am I the one not hearing the volume, or is it? Do I have a problem at my end?
Vinod and others, all the students, the mother is available. So whenever you ask any questions, she'll be able to answer it on the chat. She's able to type, though she's traveling by train. Okay. So I leave it to you. I hope if you have anything, one of you call me by WhatsApp call.
Guruji, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
I wanted to verify this with you. I heard it in the Parashara conference that if we want to see father's incarceration, because if he has murdered and at some point maybe he'll get caught, maybe. For incarceration, one of the methods they discussed was that in D16, the lagna of the D16 should be in the 6, 8 or 12 and should have some connection with Rahu. Is that a valid test or no for imprisonment?
I don't know this rule.
Okay.
Where was it found?
Guruji, Vishti Larsen, the Sanjay Rath's, Pandit Sanjay Rath's student, like he's very famous, I believe. He had discussed this rule.
D16 is only for what they call Shodha Samsa, right?
Yes.
Conveyances.
I guess his concept was that D16 is a reflection of the fourth house, like happiness, comforts.
But is that not Chaturtamsa?
Guruji, I read the same thing in K.N. Rao's book.
Oh, they must be following this book then.
Yes,
K.N. Rao. Okay.
Yeah, he talked about D16, not D4.
Okay, then if you want to experiment, but I don't know what.
I checked on it, but I didn't find any connection, so I left it out, Guruji.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, I'll do my research a little bit more thoroughly.
Yeah, but see, what I'm saying, that could be only an additional tool, because mostly the Rashi, Bhava, and Dasha, Antardasha is usually more than enough, right? So maybe there's a logic. Maybe jail is the opposite of vehicles, conveyance, luxuries, all this for, that Shodha Samsa chart.
Yes.
Maybe possible. Maybe that might be the logic. Then you don't have any of these things. Okay. I think D4 also is that, but I think D4 is more with land and property, I think. Whereas Shodha Samsa might be more with the luxury area of life, which of course includes a good home and all that, right?
Correct. Like his logic was, and I need to do my research.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
But Kalamsha.
But I tell you the fundamental house is actually 12th house for imprisonment.
Yeah.
Malefics influencing 12th house, because even when you go abroad and suffer, it will be like an imprisonment in a foreign country. So it is usually 12th house stuff, I think 6th house stuff. But one famous rule is malefics in second, 5th and 9th having malefics, and especially Rahu or Ketu in one of these Trikonas, having 212 malefics is the most famous rule for Bandhana Yoga.
Right. Okay.
So, but see, we got the clues about, or maybe worst time, maybe Dasha and Antardasha itself, sometimes you will have text saying imprisonment. So, one of you keep BPHS volume 2, a PDF or something. As soon as the Dasha is being discussed, you go and see at least if there is some mention. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'll leave it to you now. I hope, you're moving well, I think. Already, when you spoke about some research about imprisonment itself, it shows that you're moving in the right direction. So, hope that you'll come up with something brilliant. Okay. And we hope to give some kind of, maybe assurance that justice, Satyameva Jayate to the mother. Okay. Usually truth will prevail. So no one escapes the karmic law and the law also. Let's hope. Okay.
Guruji, one fundamental question that was raised earlier and also was nagging me before I was doing this is why was this doubt arising in the first place over the father?
I mean, when you text the doubt or you ask the doubt, you can say, we want the answer. I think she will be able to type it out in the chat.
Okay, Guruji.
Okay, yeah. I'll be moving out in case you need me to come back here. Then maybe you can text me by WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, Guruji.
And if possible, we might have, if you want, we can again have a sitting where she is there and maybe 5 of you who are more interested in helping her wants to have a separate session with her also, you can have it. Okay. So whatever questions you have, I think if you type it out, you must be getting answers. Whenever the signals, when has enough signal to pass on the message, the reply. Okay.
Her name is Shobha, right, Guruji?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay.
Shobha, Priya. Oh, see, she's logged off. That means the signal must have gone on. So she's not there, I think. Okay.
But
just
maybe we can keep her, just to protect her, Guruji, I don't know her emotions right now. Should we just post it as our questions, not addressing her directly, right? Just post the question.
Yeah. You just say, you always say, God is there. God will usually, punish. Like that day we discussed, right? When we say Krishna will appear again and again, we actually mean he will appear every moment in time when justice is needed. Okay, our justice has to come, it will come. Okay, so let's hope for the best.
Okay.
But whenever you make an astrological statement, please complete it with the what is your conclusion. So it should come as a statement that because this planet is here, I conclude like this. Dasha, Antardasha, or anything. Okay, just if you're typing it out, type it out at one shot. Don't break the statement sentences. Thank you. I request all the co-hosts to actively do this. I'm sorry, because of my health, I'm not able to, sit continuously. Somehow I managed these 2 days. I've developed some swelling near my shoulders.
Oh, please take rest, Guruji.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyone noticed this guy has 12th Lord in 12th house and Moon in 12th house? It looks like he has. That is continued even in Navamsa, Moon in 12th house. He must be having some kind of addictions.
And that too, Lagna Lord is also debilitated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The 12th and 12th is with respect to sharing to family, wife and children is not that positive. Having 12th Lord in the 12th.
In Sri Jyoti, the Navamsha for the father actually shows a different ascendant. Is it anybody else who's done it for Sri Jyoti, for the father in Sri Jyoti?
Yeah, it is showing Mercury, right? Virgo.
Right?
Oh, it is
Virgo.
showing Virgo? Then something
Yeah.
is wrong at my end. Okay, I need to correct it then.
Also, Mars and Jupiter, the two most beneficial planets for this Lagna, they are on Rahu-Ketu axis, 2-8 axis. Shows some Kutumba issues.
So should we start with the son's chart or should we start with the father's chart?
Guruji mentioned earlier to start with father's chart.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it really matters. And definitely, like he has problems with Kutumba because of the number one malefic for this Lagna. No, actually, like it is Saturn. I'm confused between Saturn and Mars. Mars in second house and along with Ketu is not a right position.
Does it show an affliction to the family?
Obviously,
The
like
family
because
bhava?
of the second lord, second house, right? Second house got afflicted due to Ketu and Mars.
Hmm.
So, so one thing is actually it is very difficult to find whether he is really the cause of the murder, and only God knows. But yeah, to some extent we can find the psychological behavior of this person, right? So I just wanted to add my few points that this Lagna Lord being debilitated in that Vishaka Nakshatra. So if you actually read the stories of Vishaka Nakshatra and its deities, it is basically a very destructive nakshatra. I don't. It is a nakshatra where the person will be very determined and also will be willing to do whatever it takes, even in a very base manner. Because I'm using the word base because that sun is debilitated. So, which means that he will even be willing to lose his dignity or the ahamkaram, Lagna Lord, in order to gain what he wants. And that Vishaka Nakshatra has that uh, if it is a positive Vishaka, it can be like the person will be very ambitious and it will be in a channelized in a right direction. But if that is a negative Vishaka, then it, like for example in this case, Sun is debilitated in Vishaka, it can be a very aggressive and destructive behavior also to achieve what they want. So that is just one psychological perspective that I got from this Vishaka Nakshatra traits. And maybe if you look at who is the Devata or who is the deity for Vishaka, and then read those stories, that can probably give a lot of clues. Just my few cents.
Hello, Vinod. Can we say this person has Kemadruma yoga?
Moon is actually strong. I think Kemadruma yoga gets cancelled if moon. See, if there are actually a lot of definitions for Kemadruma yoga, but the exact definition is that number one, okay, it does not have any graha on both sides of it, so it is not flanked by any graha on both sides. That is basically the premise or base. That is the basic condition. But it is not just that. It becomes serious when there are no grahas in kendras from the moon or from the lagna. That is what the classics say. But in this case, you do see grahas in kendras from the moon, right? Like you see Sun, Mercury, and from lagna you do see Saturn and Venus. So it is not exactly a
Jupiter aspect.
right. Exactly, as correctly pointed out. This, first of all, it is in its own sign, so it is not a very severe Kemadruma. Second, it is aspected by a very strong benefic Jupiter, which is Vargottama, retrograde, and all of that. So it's aspected by a very strong Jupiter, but that Jupiter itself is afflicted heavily. So we don't know how much we can rely. It is also playing the role of the eighth lord. Still, it is a benefic aspecting that own sign moon. So the only reason why we can call this a Kemadruma is because it does not have planets on both sides of it. But the fact that the moon is in its own sign aspected by Jupiter, and there are planets in Kendras from the Lagna and the moon, breaks the Kemadruma Yoga. So you cannot technically call it a severe Kemadruma Yoga. And if you also look at it, that moon is not very afflicted. Generally, a negative yoga will manifest severely when that graha is also losing strength and is also afflicted. In this case, it is not afflicted, or it is in fact strongly, aspected by that Jupiter. So it's not.
But
It is
but
strong in
Vinod,
its own sign. Yeah.
but Vinod, correct me if I'm wrong. According to Mark Bonney, a retrograde Jupiter isn't that effective, isn't it? So
Yeah. From the point of view of you know what is that health, from the perspective of health, retrograde, generally retrograde, if there are already afflictions to Lagna Lord, Sun has a problem and Moon has a problem, and so many parameters around health is already problematic in the chart. Given that is the case, and then you have a retrograde planets dasha operating, then you could run into health issues, and regardless of whether it is a natural benefic or not. See, in this case, Jupiter, yes, it cannot be reliable in terms of health. Anyway, that is.
Yeah, because I remember him teaching that even retrograde Jupiter's aspect won't be a saving grace. So
Yeah. So
isn't it?
actually, in this, right? So maybe people who I know, some of you may be very interested in nakshatras. Maybe you can explore the Purva Falguni and Lagna Lord in debilitated in Vishaka, and that can give some good traits and indications, right? So I may not be really qualified enough to tell whether this person has really murdered or not. But one thing I just wanted to comment, that look at this Mars. It is very interesting that this Mars is a very angry Mars. Like, it's number one, it's a Vargottama Mars, and generally Mars does not like to be placed in Mercury's sign, because Mars and Mercury are inimical towards each other. So it is a very badly dignified Mars. It's not a dignified Mars. A dignified Mars, and also generally a malefic planet, when it is very dignified, like exalted or in its own sign, and it is not afflicted, and it is aspected by benefics, then it will behave in a very nice way. Like, the good qualities of that malefic will actually come to its forefront. But in this case, this Mars, in its Mercury sign, it's very angry. I think it is in its Kopa Avastha or whatever they call it, because Mars in Mercury sign is in its enemy sign. Plus, it is Vargottama. That is indicating a very strong angry Mars, right? And it is afflicted. So, and this such an afflicted Mars, if you look at the confluence, or if you stack up, that Mars is aspecting the fifth bhava with its fourth aspect. It is also aspecting the fifth lord, Jupiter, who also happens to be the Karaka, Jupiter. Because if it was some other Lagna, right? If it was some other Lagna, the fifth lord and Jupiter would be two independent variables, two different entities. But here, since it is a Leo Lagna, the fifth lord and Jupiter, the Karaka, the Jupiter plays double duty. It is doing the role of the fifth lord as well as the Karaka. So any problems to Jupiter will be magnified. So for a Leo Lagna, if the Jupiter is very strong, 2 out of 3 parameters are becoming very strong. If anything is weak with respect to Jupiter, 2 out of 3 parameters are becoming very, very weak. So in this case, fifth lord and Jupiter, both Karaka as well as the fifth lord, are going to a negative, are going to a that is Dursthana, that to 8th bhava, which is indicating secrecy and something which is not sudden, right? And it is in Gandanta. All these are adding to the picture. So I don't know whether this husband murdered or not, but one thing is very clear. This looks like very dreadful in terms of his child. Fifth lord going to 8th, also happening to be the Karaka along Rahu Ketu axis, aspected by that Mars, who is Vargottama and also in an enemy sign. And if you look at that Mars, it's aspecting 5th house, 5th lord and Karaka. This is a very, very severe affliction to the 5th house. And this influence of Mars. Okay, now the next question is, why did it lead to murder, right? Generally, when it is Mars, it will always talk about murder, killing, and all these things. And when it is Rahu, it is scandalous. And it is the 8th bhava involved. Again, scandals, sudden disasters, murder, and all of this. So, yeah, it is definitely showing that the child was murdered. But was the father the reason? That I don't know. But also look at that Mars, which is aspecting the 5th house, 5th lord, and the Karaka. Look at the degrees of Mars and look at the degrees of the Jupiter. They are almost within 1 degree range. It is almost exact 100% as percentage aspect on that fifth lord, which is like very, and generally that fifth lord being retrograde, right? It means that there is something naughty about that fifth lord. There is something unusual about that fifth lord, and also being afflicted. It is this kind of clearly shows the kind of patterning.
There is another affliction on the fifth house.
The strength of the Jupiter is very less.
Okay. So there is another affliction on the fifth house by Mars. Can that be counted as also a stack up? Point number one. Point number two, Jupiter getting afflicted by Rahu and the aspect of Mars and Ketu.
So Jupiter is
these are all the points which are leading towards the affliction of the fifth house and the fifth lord in the father's chart.
Yeah. So the fifth lord and the Karaka, two important parameters are being literally trashed in this case.
I am even mentioning the fifth house here. So that is additionally getting
absolutely. The fifth house is also being, this is a very, very serious affliction of, so maybe, okay, then the question is, okay, since we see so much of a grossly, Ken Rao sir used to use this term, grossly afflicted. Means it's not like, what makes this grossly afflicted? That Jupiter is afflicted by more than one malefic. That too, one of the malefic is in an enemy's Rashi, Vargottama, so it's very irritated, and that malefic is Mars, and it is within 1 degree, and that afflicted, how afflicted planet is not only doing the role of Karaka but also the fifth lord, and going into the 8th house of suspicion, sudden, and all that. So this is a very, very serious affliction. That much. But why is this happening in Ketu Dasha? Right? Yeah, of course. Ketu is the cause of affliction, right?
So any graha which causes, which runs this dasha, the dashanath, if it runs from the second, then they say that we have negative influences, right? So this is the case even seen in other charts also. So if the dashanath is running the dasha from the second house, placed in the second or seventh, then it becomes an afflictor, or the dasha itself is.
Sorry, that's an interesting point. Please come again.
So if the dashanath, here in this case it's Ketu, if Ketu is placed in the second house, and if it runs its dasha from the second house, then there is usually the Rishi says bad things about that.
Yes, and also always remember that Rahu, to assess Rahu and Ketu, we always want that Rahu and Ketu to be to the extent in a Kendra or a Trikona or in the sign of a benefic, aspected by a benefic. The more the influence of malefics on the Rahu Ketu, and if it is not in a Kendra Trikona, see in this case, right, Ketu is afflicted by that Mars. Yes, that Jupiter, I don't know like how much it is. Already that Jupiter is in a problem. It is the 8th lord and all that, and that Ketu already has a problem. It is in the Margasthana and all that. So this is a difficult Ketu. So
Jupiter is in Mrityubhaga and in Sarpadrakana.
Oh yeah, that's also adding a very important point. Fifth lord Jupiter in Mrityubhaga and Sarpadrakana is definitely adding a serious point, and it is in the between water and fire. It is in Gandanta position. So that is also adding another flavor. So
can anybody tell me if Jupiter's degree is 27 or 27.57, or is it near 29.5?
The timing has to be corrected. I posted in chat. It's not 12:55 a.m. It's 0:55 a.m.
Yeah, it's 0:55. But yeah, I think the Lagna is correct.
The Rashi will not change, I think.
It means 0:55 only.
Yeah, Jupiter is almost 28 degrees.
Yeah, so is that considered as Gandanta, or do we take 29 and above as Gandanta?
But anyway, it's in Sarpadrakana.
Yeah, it is in Sarpadrakana. Yeah. No, but yeah, see, there are some people take exactly 1 degree as Gandanta, but you can also extend it to 1 Navamsha, which is 3 degrees 20 minutes. But yeah, this is something which has to be subtly handled, because the same Gandanta position makes it Vargottama, right? So you cannot completely invoke that Gandanta every time, because if you will see that people will have exalted Venus at 27 degrees or 28 degrees, it may be a fantastic Venus, because if it is not afflicted, there are other areas in the chart which are very good, then we will not unnecessarily invoke that Gandanta theme. In this case, we are invoking that Gandanta because already there is a problem. Already there is a problem to that Jupiter, who is the 8th lord, aspected by Mars, the Rahu Ketu axis. So many things are going on, 5th lord and all that. Retrograde.
This Jupiter is afflicted in all the charts by Mars.
Yeah, I think that's a
D3, D9,
right.
D12.
Right. I think yes, absolutely. And I think someone is posting in the chat that it is the Lord of the 64th Navamsha. Very nice point. Yeah. So whenever the Lord of the 64th Navamsha from Lagna, even though it is the Lord, it will not protect. It may not protect its house. It might bring some bad indications of the house. And Mars is the Lord of the 64th Navamsha from the Moon. Correct. So there are four key important factors that you want to take in. Like one is Lord of 64th Navamsha from the Lagna, Lord of 64th Navamsha from the Moon, Lord of 22nd Drekana from the Lagna, Lord of 22nd Drekana from the Moon. So these four parameters, when these four parameters converge on a particular house, right? So then that it makes it even more disastrous. Yeah, that's a nice point.
Does anybody believe in Badakesh? Does anybody have any experience with the Badakesh or the Lord of the Badaka? In this case,
I think Dhilip sir also does not advocate that because
yeah, we don't do that usually,
yeah,
but
we
it
don't do
is.
that. Yeah, but there are some
There are
theories.
some theories there. Yeah.
People are still using it, but I don't think that is going to. I mean, I don't know. Like every system people have their own all that, but Dhilip sir does not really advocate that. And
What
also,
about
it is
the
very
special aspects of Rahu?
yeah. That also I have not seen Dhilip sir. It's not. But there are people who even I don't think even I don't know. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong. That in B.V. Raman's books, have we ever seen Rahu Ketu's aspect being taken into consideration? Definitely, definitely, K. N. Rao doesn't, sir, does not do it, and Dilip sir does not uh, advocate that. But some people do take Rahu Ketu 5-9 aspect. Some people say it is 3-7-11. I mean, I don't know. There are some.
So going only by the general principles or widely accepted principles in our school of thought, we go with the fact that the Lagnadhipati, that is Sun, Surya in this case, is debilitated, which means the person may resort to unscrupulous
Correct. So
acts or maybe
now
an adharmic person, right? Adharma.
No. I think again. I just wanted to correct my statement here. Lagna Lord debilitated does not necessarily mean a adharmic person.
No.
But
Surya, I'm saying Surya. In this case,
yeah,
Surya, who is a
yeah.
natural Atma Karaka.
Correct. So it can mean that the person may have some base tendencies. Number one, or it can mean that the person will have a sense of they psychologically they might be like what do you call like they will have problems with their dignity because of which some issues might crop up. It can manifest in several ways. I mean, Lagna Lord debilitated person can be very nice too. So we cannot just simply base it on that. But here I just want to add one more thing is that as you rightly said, Lagna Lord being Sun the Atmakaraka debilitated number one, and whenever a planet is debilitated, you always want to see whether there is enough cancellation or not. If there is no Nicha Banga at all, right, then it is really debilitated. In this case, you can go through all the rules of Nicha Banga to see whether it really gets cancelled or not, right? And that is one thing. Number one. Number two, here I just want to also invoke this that it is getting debilitated in the Kama Bhava, in the third Bhava, which indicates Kama. So maybe for the sake of Kama, the person might resort to base means, or the person might have a question of self-worth in terms of as matters respect relating to desires or courage. Maybe you can bring in those themes. That's just my thought process. But yeah, Lagna Lord debilitated in Vishaka is not a good psychological profile. It's not a definitely not a good psychological profile thing. But is it bad enough to deem that person as a murderer? I don't know.
And Ketu is in
The Mars Ketu is together. It is Pisach Yoga, right? Like it's a
Yeah,
very bad combination, right? I think it's in the
this
curses
is a very
chapter.
severely afflicted. This is a
Yeah.
very severely afflicted. So I mean, anyone with some decent amount of experience in astrology, right? Simply if you run through what planets are aspecting that bhava, what planets are aspecting that lord, where does that lord go, where is the karaka, whether the karaka is afflicted or not. Simply with this, you can definitely say that this is loss of child. right? Whether it is through murder or abortion or whatever it is, that's a different story altogether. But it is clearly saying that it is. And look at from the Chandra Lagna, from the moon, if you look at again that fifth house as a Saturn influence, although there is
Yeah.
a double benefic influence. See, I think that is the reason he probably had a child, first of all, in the first place. That benefic, yeah, Mars Ketu, even I've heard that it is a Pisacha yoga. And that Chandra, from that moon, that Venus in the fifth, and that Jupiter aspecting that Venus, two benefics in the fifth from the moon, has actually given birth to a child. That is one reason. Maybe if those benefics were not there, because uh, K.N. Rao and also B.V. Raman always advocates that you need to check the picture from the moon as well, right? So from the moon, if you see there are benefic influences, that probably answers the reason as to why. So we can always argue, right? Like, okay, if why should it be murder, and but why cannot it be uh, simply abortion or simply miscarriage? That can also involve Mars and Ketu. But why is this more? Why should it give a child and then take it away? It gave a child because fifth house from the moon has Jupiter and Venus influence, I believe. And look at the Jupiter from the Karaka, fifth house is very strong. From the Karaka, Jupiter, fifth lord is in the fifth. So that is also very strong. But because from the Lagna, the fifth lord, fifth house, and fifth Karaka picture, and the influence of Mars and all this is very detrimental. I think it gave a child and then took it away. Now, if you look at that Saptamsha, what is the dasha the person is running?
Vinodji, could you repeat that fifth lord in the fifth house was very strong, that part?
No. If you look at, see, you always look at fifth house, fifth lord, and Karaka from three important reference points. Of course, the Lagna is very important. The second thing is from the moon. You also rotate the chart and read the chart from the Chandra Lagna or the moon. Because even if you read Dr. B.V. Raman's book, every time he will say, see, from the Lagna it is like this, from the moon it is like this. From the Lagna it is like this, from the moon it is like this. So if something repeats from both Lagna and moon, then it is a stronger affliction or a stronger benefic thing, right? So if you look at, and the third thing is the Karaka. Now you look at the fifth from the moon, it has the influence of both Jupiter and Venus, two benefics, but it also has Saturn. So which means that there are benefic and 70% benefic influence, 30% malefic influence from the moon. Now if you look at from the Karaka Jupiter, fifth house from the Karaka, fifth lord is what? Of course, from Jupiter, the fifth house will be aspected by Jupiter. So let's not take that into consideration. But from the Jupiter, the fifth lord is in the fifth house. So the lord of a house in the house makes it very strong. So from the fifth, Jupiter fifth bhava is very good. From the moon, fifth bhava is 60% good, 40% bad. From the Lagna, fifth bhava is completely bad. So it means that it has given it and taken it away, and it has taken it away in the Dasha of Ketu. Now, if you look at where is Ketu in the Saptamsha.
Vinodji, before you proceed further, if you take Chandra Lagna, because I would like to restrict myself to the Lagna and the Chandra Lagna. If you take the Chandra Lagna, as you said, the fifth lord is Mars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mars is also afflicted here. Once again, we are getting back the same affliction on the fifth lord,
absolutely.
Right?
Perfect. And from the Chandra Lagna,
it is also afflicting the second from the fifth. If you take that, Mars.
From the Chandra Lagna.
Mars is afflicting the second from the fifth.
But why do you want to see the second from the fifth?
Longevity of the child. Just in case if we are taking that into deeper and deeper realms, then even the second.
Absolutely, you make a wonderful point. See, you can in fact look at the eighth from the eighth. Okay, then in that case, why should we even think about Chandra Lagna? From the Lagna, you take the fifth and look at the eighth from there, right? But that does not see. It may not always give us a clear picture.
Sometimes we'll be going round and round.
Yeah. I mean, we should not. There are some principles like this Bhavat Bhavam or the fourth from the fifth and all. We should not overuse it. Sometimes we should use it. If it's giving an indication, then we should leave it. So I think in this case, the picture from the Lagna is very, very clear. And why did it happen in Ketu Dasha? Look at the Saptamsha. Ketu is in the fifth, aspected by Mars. Okay, wonder immediately an important point. In Brihat Parashara Horashastra, Ketu in the sign of Aries, aspected by Mars, is the curse of serpents. You can actually
It's
go
not
through
aspected by Mars. Is it aspected in the Saptamsha?
in Saptamsha.
No, Mars is in Virgo, right? Or Virgotam.
Yeah, eighth aspect.
8 aspects, right?
Okay,
Eighth
okay,
aspect.
okay, fine.
Right. So 8 aspects. So this is very clear. It may not now the shloka in the child died when the father was in Ketu Venus. Oh.
Ketu is in Uttar Falguni, so I think that is Lagna Lord's nakshatra.
Ketu is not in Uttar Falguni. Ketu is in Chitra, or where is it? Hold on. Yeah, it's not in. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I take back my statement. It is in Uttar Falguni, correct? So, yeah, in this case, this is, if you can actually go to BPHS volume 2, I think, curses from the previous birth, or the combinations that can lead to childlessness or death of child. In that, one important thing which is also mentioned in Sri K. N. Rao's book is Ketu Rahu axis along the fifth aspected by Mars. That can mean abortion, miscarriage, murder, depending upon the context. Now, in this case, the context of the fifth bhava in the Rasi chart is very dreadful. Therefore, it means murder. Not every case it will be murder, right? So, in this case, it is very clear. Mars has Ketu in the fifth aspect by Mars has taken away that child in that, and yeah, that's there. But Jupiter, even that Jupiter in that Mars, see, because actually, there is also another theory by where K.N. Rao and even Dhilip sir, and I think no, not Dhilip sir, B.V. Raman, they simply treat the Navamsa as if it is the birth chart, okay, as if it is the D1, and they look at the fifth house, fifth lord Karaga. Now let us see that. Look at that fifth house in Navamsha. Fifth lord is along Rahu Ketu axis in the sixth house, and yeah.
You're saying
Anyway,
fifth
that is
lord or fifth house?
fifth house and fifth lord. I mean, you can also use that to check. I mean, all
No,
these are
in
various ways.
Saptamsha or Navamsha?
I mean, Navamsha can be treated as if it is the D1 chart for any matters, and you can see whether there is confluence or not. Like for example, let's say seventh lord, seventh house is used for Navamsha. We use Navamsha for seventh house, but let us take some other instance. Like for example, fourth lord is debilitated in the D1, and the same fourth lord in the D9 is also debilitated. Like D9, you just take D9 and interpret it as if it is the D1, right? Fourth lord is debilitated in the D1 and the D9. Then it is double stack up for saying that there is a problem with the fourth house matter. And this is an authentic technique which is there in B.V. Raman's books. You will see that he will simply take that Navamsha and treat as if it is the D1 and simply read the bhavas from there. That's also there. But anyway, I think we are deviating from what.
I think I just
what
wanted to add this Saptamsha does not have 5 Ketu in the 5th. The timing has to be corrected, please. The divisional charts are not correct
no,
right now.
Saptamsha
No,
has
Ketu is in the fifth.
No,
Swamiji,
Soumya,
Ketu is in the fifth.
Is it not 050?
Ketu is in the fifth. Ketu is in the
Ketu is in
fifth.
the
Soumya,
I think
Soumya, 0-55 is equal to 12:55. When 12:55 it is AM, that means 0:55.
12:55 would be more like going.
No, it doesn't say
Is
PM,
that how
right?
it is
It says
written?
AM.
Oh, is
Okay.
that how
So
it is
0
in
and 12 are same,
Jagannath?
right? Right. So the
Okay,
timing
because
is
it
correct, the
is.
degrees are also correct.
Oh, but I don't know why it's showing different here.
I just wanted to add one point to the stack up. According to BPHS, if there is a sun in third from the ascendant, he would be awarded punishment by the government or king. And yeah, so here it is.
One more point is here. If the sun is aspected or by a benefic, no. If the sun is associated with a malefic and is also aspected by malefic, the family will be destroyed. I mean, it's not the case, but Vamsha Nashaha is there.
Okay.
So yeah, with regards to if we might get a punishment or not, there are good chances because according to BPHS, sun in third is one of the main causes for legal punishment. So
Okay. And one more thing, I just wanted to remind this technique, right? Fifth house, fifth lord, Karaka. We saw from the Lagna, the amount of affliction from the moon, from the Jupiter. One more important thing, and we saw that Lagna Lord is in Vishaka, debilitated, that is having some issues with his personality, character, and all that. Okay, but we still cannot conclude that it is whether he was the murderer or not. That I am not getting into. But one thing, this is always a technique which you can always use. You want to see how where is the relationship Lord from the Lagna Lord. Okay, again, don't use it always extensively. Sometimes it can, if other factors are very good, like for example Bava Lord, the Karaka compatibility, if all these are very good, then it may not work. But look at this, where is the Lagna Lord? It is in Libra. Where is the fifth Lord? It is in Pisces. Lagna Lord and fifth Lord are 6-8 from each other. So which means that the Lagna Lord indicating this husband and the fifth Lord indicating the child are inimical to each other, and they have 6-8 themes between them. That is also indicated. And that Lagna Lord and that fifth, not just the fifth Lord, the same way you can apply the technique for Lagna Lord and the Karaka. Lagna Lord, Sun, and the Karaka Jupiter are again 6-8 from each other, because in this case fifth lord happens to be the Jupiter Karaka, right? So that's again it is very clearly showing it from every perspective. The only thing is that an astrologer looking at it, they may know that it could either be abortion, miscarriage, or death, or murder. That is something we cannot differentiate, very difficult. But otherwise it's a very obvious case that
So,
this.
Vinod, but the main question posed by the mother is only one single question: is whether he will get a legal punishment or not. So,
Okay,
how do
so
we?
one thing is like to now it is 2023, right? So next next 4 years he is still in his Ketu Dasha. I mean, I'm just giving some pointers. You all can also add your points, and then we can come to a collective conclusion.
Yeah, Ashtama Sani.
Oh yeah. He's going through Saturn is transiting his 8th house. Yeah, that's an interesting point. And also Saturn will transit his 8th bhava and transit that. Yeah, so he's still going to run Ketu Dasha, right, for the next 4 years or so. 4 years or yeah, right. That's a which means that his time is bad, definitely. That we can say. Now maybe we can get into the sub periods. Ketu Mars. Oh my God, this from 12/1/2023. He is not running a good period. Then Ketu Rahu. Then Ketu Jupiter. Ketu Saturn. Yeah, he is certainly not running a good period. So definitely he will not be very happy. He will be under tremendous amount of stress. That is for sure. Looking at. Okay, can we try to find out whether see. Okay, another key point is generally the one who is ah hmm, now that Mars, which is actually afflicting that. See, again, this is just my perspective. Maybe Dilip sir can, sir, if you are still around, sir, I know that Mars is actually the game changer here. It is the one which is killing that fifth lord and Jupiter, right? What is the lordship of that Mars? It is the ninth lord of Father. That is giving an. So the ninth lord of Father is Mars, which is afflicting the Jupiter. So that brings an interesting point, but again, we don't know.
Vinodji, in this case, the ninth lord Mars would be the native's father, right? Not the father. Whereas for the
Yeah,
if you're taking the fifth house, ninth from the fifth would be the child's father.
Yeah,
there's one more thing I wanted to tell you regarding this Mars and Ketu in the second house. Is that right now Ketu is transiting over Libra and very soon will be transiting. I mean, it is transiting Libra, right? And very soon it will be transiting over the second house, the second bhava or second rasi, what you call. And that is again going to be a big problematic period for Ketu over Ketu and Ketu over Mars.
Okay.
Transit Ketu over Ketu and transit Ketu over Mars. We can also say Rahu over Rahu and Rahu over Jupiter. So this forthcoming transit is going to be, again, as you use the word game changer, I would add that also as a game changer.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. Maybe you can see whether this guy has a bandhana, this person has a bandhana yoga, because that bandhana yoga is the yoga for imprisonment, which is defined by 410.
Affliction to 12th. I mean,
Not
410
actually
to
speaking, his
12,
12th house is
311,
very good.
yeah. 212,
Actually,
311,
his
right?
12th house is very good. Yeah, if there are planets in 212, 311, 410, 59 and all that. Here we have 212, but there is nothing in 311. See, okay, so Lagna Lord debilitated in Vishaka, Lagna Lord and 5th Lord 6-8 from each other, and that Mars, all these are things. Any other point? Maybe we can move on to the child's chart to see. Okay, one more interesting point is before you. How old was the child when he or she died? He died.
3 or 4 years, I think.
3 or 4, yeah.
4 years.
4 years.
Maybe someone can add to this. I think less than 9 years, it is the curse of the mother or something like that. It's there, right? Less than 4 years, it's the curse of the mother. Less than 9 years, 10 years, it is the curse of the father. And after between 10 to 12, 15 years, it is the uh, deeds done by the child. Something like that, it is there. So it should, I think it is the mother's. So mother's chart should be heavily afflicted than the father's chart. Can we move on to the mother's chart to see what is going on? Because
I wanted one thing to point out that if he is convicted, it will be a long-term jail. Can we check on the Venus Dasha? Ketu, we know it is it's bad. He will be under court case and all that. But if we see the Venus Dasha, will he be confined during that period? Then we know the mother's answer whether he is convicted or not.
Correct. That's a good point, Shakti.
Oh, and one more thing, Vinodji, we have not seen the dispositor's strength here. So
Which one?
there's another dispositors for all the grahas, except for Jupiter, and Moon. The 8th and the 12th lords, they are placed in their own house. So other than that, the other grahas don't seem to have strong dispositors.
Saturn's dispositor is Mars, weak. Yeah. Venus dispositor is weak. Sun's dispositor, Venus is
afflicted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Venus is in Sarpadrakana and in Papakartari.
Yeah. Correct.
So the dispositors
can you
are
actually
not
check the Vimshopak? Can you actually check the Vimshopak Bala of all the grahas?
Yeah, just give me a sec.
That will. Which is the weakest? Oh, Lagna, Sun is the weakest, right? Sun is the weakest in Shadbala and Vimshopaka Bala. Maybe someone can take this as an interesting exercise, like who is interested in nakshatras. Read the nakshatra story of Vishaka. That will give a lot of clue. Read the nakshatra story of Purva Falguni. It will give a lot of clue. And yeah. Especially Vishaka, because in this case, Vishaka and Ketu is in Purva Falguni. Okay, Vishaka Lagna Lord is in Vishaka, so that Vishaka stories will give a lot of interesting insights about this person. Vishaka story. I'm not.
So for the story, what book do you recommend, Vinodji?
I mean, there are many books. I don't know. Like there is one book by what is his name? Dennis Harness. Dennis Harness. There is one book, and then there is one book by Radhe. Radhe Nakshatra, some book, all that. Many other books, but the thing is, Nakshatra will give a lot of some intricate details. Maybe you can check, because see, the reason I invoke for normal analysis, every time we cannot keep checking Nakshatras, then we will go mad. We will never be able to arrive at any conclusion. But because this is a very serious case of a question, like really we want to understand and pick that psychological profile of that person, then this nakshatra will have a lot of value addition. Now, as we speak, right, let us simply probably try to do a prashna. What is the current graha positions indicating? I'm doing it on my system. Maybe you can pull it up on Jagannath Hora. 29th January 2023. What is the time now? 21:17. Madras, India. Right? What is the prashna indicating? Let's see. If you look at what is the current prashna indicating, can you just pull up the chart and see?
Jupiter is in own sign, and we have Rahu Moon
No,
conjunct.
this is not the prashna chart. This is not the prashna chart. Current prashna I'm asking you.
Yeah, current prashna only I'm showing. I'm doing this current time chart, which is Moon is with Rahu, right?
You are putting in your location, is it?
Yeah, Chennai.
Well, as for the prashna, I will say he'll be convicted.
Exactly. See, the thing is, look at but why is it showing Moon in Cancer in the screen?
Not Cancer. No, that's not my screen. I'm not sharing my screen.
Okay, that's not your screen. Whoever is sharing, can you just put the current transit screen?
As the prashna, it is.
And look at that. We are discussing about murder and something which is very hidden and which is what do you call, like, scandalous.
So in that case, then Sun is in the 8th house, right? In transit from the ascendant, transit ascendant.
No, it is sixth house.
No, Sun is in.
Sorry, Lagna is Leo as of now, right?
Which place are you in?
I'm in Bangalore.
Oh, okay.
Why is the Lagna showing us?
So for me, Lagna is Leo and Sun is in 6th house. Okay. And it is in Shravana Nakshatra. Shravana Nakshatra, Lord is Moon. So why I'm saying yes? First, the Lagna Lord has gone in the 6th house, 6th bhava, which is the legal case is going on. And nakshatra wise, the nakshatra Lord is Moon, which is the 12th house. So it shows imprisonment for him.
Yeah, and also for in Chennai it is Virgo Lagna, and Moon is clearly in the 8th house along Rahu Ketu axis.
That way also for me it is Leo Lagna, 29 degree. So for me with this combination it comes as yes.
Yeah, so certainly that Moon, generally in Prashna chart, the Moon will indicate what we are discussing about. When I suddenly thought we will do a Prashna, it was indicating the 8th house of mystery.
And Virgo has Mandi, right? So there the Lagna is having Mandi. So that also shows that, yeah, it is.
Yeah, can we look at that? Actually, mother's chart should have a severe more affliction than the father's chart, because based on this theory that when the child dies within 4 years or 9 years or whatever, it is the curses of the mother. So can we look at the mother's chart next? Now that we've looked at the father's
going
chart.
to other charts, with respect, why? Because we have already seen the chart of father. We can see the transit when the child was we can see the transits and see what happens to the 5th lord.
Pavani, you remember what is the date of death?
It is 26th January 2021 between 10 o'clock to 10:30 a.m. I saw the transit chart, and yeah, it is 26th Jan 2021.
21st Jan, I think the child died. 26th, the dead body was discovered.
Okay, 21st date. 21st date or first? 21st.
20.
Was the dead body discovered?
Sir, typed it as 24th, I think.
Some faraway place where there is water or something like that.
It was found between, he didn't tell where it was found, between 10 to 10:30 a.m. on 26th Jan 2021, and he died on 24th Jan 2021.
On 26th, Jupiter is debilitated. The 5th lord of the father is debilitated, and
along with Sun and Saturn.
Yeah, and the Lagna Lord is having, and the father's Lagna Lord is having problems at that time because it is very near to Saturn. Sun is very near to Saturn in Saturn's house. We can see the chart and then we'll have some more clues before going to mother's chart, because then it will be confusing if we see the transit chart after we look at the mother's chart.
This is the mother's chart, Pavani. This lady has putra dosha that leads to pitra dosha as well sometimes. So what exactly the...
Okay, so if the father's chart, if Mars is showing the cause of the problem, murder, like it is afflicting the fifth house, fifth lord Karaka, right? So then even in the wife's chart, Mars should have some role to play, right? Can you actually tell me like how it is indicating? Can someone tell?
Or maybe seventh lord.
Mars is actually seventh from the husband's Mars. Both are Sama Saptami.
No. There is.
And Mars is aspecting the fifth house, fifth bhava in mother's chart.
No, actually,
correct.
this
Absolutely
lady
correct.
has...
Mars is aspecting the fifth bhava of the mother's chart. That is a direct, straightforward answer. Right. So obviously, that themes is there.
Another affliction is the fifth lord is in Sandhi.
Correct. That is also somewhere in between. Yeah, that's also a problem. But
she has a severe affliction from moon, both in Rasi as well as in Navamsa. Fifth house is afflicted. If you see it like from moon, like it is afflicted.
Now look at the Jupiter and Shubhakartri. Oh, this woman's chart is it's in a Shubhakartri yoga. Ascendant is hemmed by benefics. It's a very nice chart. But yeah, see and Mars is also look at that chart from the Karaka Jupiter. Fifth house, fifth lord from the Karaka Jupiter. What happens to that? Beautiful, yeah, Aarti. That's a nice point. Here in this case, right? In the last case, we all see. Okay, here this is what we need to really understand. In the previous husband's chart, Mars was the Yoga Karaka. Generally, a lot of people at all levels we always get confused, right? If it is Yoga Karaka, it does not mean that it suddenly becomes a very good planet. No, Yoga Karaka will only give very good fame, money, recognition. Maybe that in that way it might make you feel like a king and all that. But in the previous chart, this is one example where you need to keep and register in mind that even if the malefic planet becomes a Yoga Karaka for a Lagna, it is still you have to take the natural nature into consideration. Right? That's why it is very clear in the husband's chart that Mars, although being the fourth and the ninth lord, Yoga Karaka, Mars is the reason for the showing murder of the child or murder or death of the child, right? Same way, even but in that case, Mars was sitting in its enemy's house. But in this case, Mars is sitting in its friend's sign. But the other problem about Mars is that it is the 6th and the 11th lord, like Aarti stated, which is the worst planet for this Lagna. So a malefic, which also becomes a functional malefic, will be doubly, which it will literally screw the happiness of that Bhava it aspects and the Bhava Lord it gets connected with. So in this case, yeah, as Shaktiji stated, it is straightforward that Mars, which is the 6th and the 11th Lord, is aspecting the 5th Bhava. But look at let us see from the moon. From the moon, what happens to the 5th Lord?
Vinodji.
It is along Rahu Ketu axis.
Vinodji, just one small clarification. Why are we looking at the 7th Bhava and 7th Lord? Were we not looking at the 5th Bhava and the 5th Lord? For the mother, for Putra Dosha?
No, we are not looking at the 7th Bhava. Actually, right. See, this is also the reason we are looking at the 7th Bhava is, of course, the child. Okay, so far we did not look at the 7th Bhava, but I am just telling that first of all we have to look at the 5th Bhava, 5th Lord and the Karaka, then do it from the moon, do it from Jupiter, repeat all these things, look at Saptamsha, all these. This is the usual analysis.
Okay.
But you can also look at from the 7th Bhava to establish some confluence or establish some kind of to support your argument, because
that
obviously
is the husband's point. That's why 7th Bhava.
Correct.
No, the reason why we were talking about the 5th was somebody raised the doubt about Putra Dosha and Pitra Dosha, right? So in that case, then the 5th house again shows afflictions in the mother's chart also, the 5th Lord and the 5th house.
It shows affliction in the mother's
So there
chart.
was this eighth aspect of Mars on the fifth house, and fifth lord is in Sandhi. The dispositor of the fifth lord is also in Sandhi, right?
And in D7, the fifth lord Jupiter goes in the
Kishorji,
third house.
Okay, super.
Kishorji, I have a question here.
Yes, Sridevi.
In that guy's chart, like it is obviously showing like he has lots of putra dosha, right? And based off of Lagna, there is no putra dosha for this lady. I mean, I'm not talking about like from moon, like what all the things afflicted and all that is secondary.
No,
First,
no, I've not gone to the moon actually. I've taken from the Lagna only, and even from the moon you see the affliction because Ketu is there in the fifth. Though the fifth lord is there in fifth house, but as we all know that Rahu Ketu are the biggest afflictors for Surya, right? They are the only ones who can afflict Surya, and that affliction is seen in this chart.
Or in other words,
but that is, why you are bringing up sun here? Sun is like
sun is
house,
no
right?
from the Chandra Lagna.
From the
sun
moon
is
Lagna, from the moon
sun is
Lagna,
the
sun
fifth
is the
house.
fifth lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also you can
Sridevi,
the other way of
she was saying something else. 1 second. I think I got
Yeah. I am thinking because this lady obviously has like issues through seventh lord in 12th house, like losses through husband.
Yes.
That is one point, right?
Yes. And
what
Saturn in the seventh
thinking
house. Saturn Ashtamadhipati in seventh house.
Correct. And now it will be interesting to see. What is
No,
her.
actually it is Ashtamadhipati
Bhakti.
in 6th house, not in 7th house, Kishorji. In Bhava,
No, from the Lagna.
No.
Acha, you're going to Bhava. Okay.
Okay, the problem is if you straightly, actually, even Dhilip sir has clarified this that in a subtle way, at a very esoteric level, both will work. Now, in this case, you can actually say that Saturn is in the seventh, and it is seventh lord is in the 12th, and that Mars is. See, you don't see any benefics aspecting the seventh house or the seventh lord, right? Seventh lord is going to the sixth from the seventh. So
it's in a hot
okay, this is an indication that the person will be convicted. Or seventh lord goes to 12th house can also mean that not just loss of spouse, but in this context, because we know it is a murder, seventh lord in the 12th house can mean imprisonment. Now, if I don't know what dasha the person is running, if this lady is running Jupiter dasha, then it can also mean imprisonment. What is the dasha the Jupiter the ladies can you check the dasha bhakti?
Yeah, for the lady.
Yeah,
for the lady it is 1 sec. Now, Rahu, Venus, Rahu at present.
Okay, so which means Rahu Venus, Rahu Sun, Rahu Moon, Rahu Mars, and then the next dasha is going to be Jupiter, right?
Yes.
So which means that even if the case is going to take a lot of time, normally which happens in India, the next dasha is that of Jupiter. So this is the way you can give hope to the lady by saying the next dasha from your chart, seventh lord is going to the 12th house, which is imprisonment.
Yes.
Right. So it can either mean loss of spouse, but in this case, already the spouse is lost. Right. Means now that the child is dead, they are. I hope so. They are separated, or they are going through a thing. Now let us look at where is Jupiter in the D9.
Vinod ji, what did you say? Imprisonment? Can you please?
No. I'm just telling that now he is going through Rahu Venus, right? So eventually Jupiter Dasha will start sometime in 2025 or 2026 or whatever, right? In 4 or 5 years. So which means, let's say the investigation is carried on right now. In Jupiter Dasha, there will be the final verdict. And what will be the final verdict? In the lady's chart, 7th lord goes to the 12th house. So 7th lord goes to the 12th house does not necessarily mean only loss of spouse or going to a foreign country. What is 12th house? 12th house is imprisonment. And 7th house has 8th lord Saturn already, right? So 7th lord, this is one way of giving hope that the next dasha of Jupiter is activating the 7th lord in the 12th house of imprisonment, right? So you can look at the Vishaka themes, and then you can analyze the psychological perspective of that husband. But whatever it is, 7th lord is going to the 12th house from the husband's chart, that is from the wife's chart. And look at that Jupiter in the Navamsha. It is in the 12th house,
With
afflicted by
Rahu
all
and
those,
Saturn. Yeah, with Rahu and Neecha Saturn.
afflicted by all those malefics, right? Now you can also say, now she is running Rahu Venus, right? When Rahu Mars comes up, Rahu Venus, Rahu Sun, Rahu Mars comes up, that Mars becomes the 7th. Okay, that will be like too much of a stretch, but anyway.
You're saying 7th Lord in the 8th?
No. No. I think I misspoke. Sorry. But yeah, so thing is, now let us see in the ladies chart how is the 5th Lord. Oh, 5th Lord is again
Debilitated.
Debilitated, and that again happens to be the Karaka Jupiter, like in the case of the husband's chart, and it is with Mars. Again, Mars role is playing. Again and again, it is playing the role.
You mean Jupiter and Mars are having a parivartana, right? That's Sambandha you're saying.
No. I'm talking about Saptamsha. In Saptamsha, Jupiter and Mars are together.
Oh, okay. I was looking at Navamsha when you went to Saptamsha.
Okay, look at this. Even in the usual BV Raman way of looking at things, look at what happens to the 5th Lord from the Lagna in the Navamsha. It is debilitated, adding to the story. Debilitated and aspected by Mars. Do you see how 5th Lord from Navamsha is playing out? Look at the 5th house from Navamsha. It is under Papakartri.
Also, one more small observation. The second house for both the charts seem to be very weak and afflicted in both the charts. That is the male chart, the female chart.
Why do you say so? The second house has Venus, right?
Yeah, Sandhi. And Moon is also in Sandhi.
Okay. But
Moon is also in Sandhi.
Actually, it is moved to first house. Venus is
No,
in first
I'm saying
house,
it's in Sandhi. It's neither here nor there. Both Moon and Venus.
Moon is
and
on
also like it is in
not,
zero degree.
Gandhanta.
The only Yoga
No, it's
Karaka
not.
planet for this
You're saying
ascendant
Venus is in Gandhanta or Moon is in Gandhanta?
No, Venus is in Gandhanta.
Yes.
Venus is in Gandhanta.
So Venus is in Gandhanta.
And that is the only Yoga Karaka planet for this ascendant.
Okay.
Venus-
Okay. Sridevi ji,
Venus-
please go first.
Venus is the only Yoga Karaka planet which is ended up with Gandhanta in this case.
It's not
And like
Gandhanta.
you said, Kishore ji,
It is not Gandhanta.
This is not in Gandhanta
Sandhi.
9.
It is just a Sandhi position. It is not
It's
Gandhanta.
both are Rashi Sandhi. They are not Gandhanta.
Mm-hmm. So both of them are in Gandhanta, right? I mean, in Sandhi, right? Venus and Moon. Okay. So the affliction is on the second house for both the charts, right?
Yeah. No, I mean we can't call it affliction, but yeah, I mean second house is not aspected by any malefics, right? And second lord is also fine. It is not aspected by any malefics. I think the problem is
the strength of the second lord is weak, right?
Second lord. Oh, you mean to say because it is in Gandhanta? Sorry,
Sandhi.
it is in Sandhi. Oh yeah.
We call that as the avastha, right? Avastha to give some promises, to
second
give
lord
the
and
fruits.
5th lord both are second lord and 5th lord. And what about the 7th lord? Okay, 7th lord is in okay. Yeah, Venus is. Can you check Venus? Can you check the Vimshopak Bala of the 5th lord Venus and the Karaka Jupiter in her chart? Something should be very low, or the Dasha lords.
I was
See,
also
look
going
at-
to say that
oh
for
my
women,
God.
don't we
Look at
also
that
see ninth house as for children also, right?
Yeah. Then also it's
for
affected by
women.
9th house Rahu. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a
Oh, look at
3-9
that.
axis.
Look at that 9th house. Look at that Venus.
Okay, Venus is having a very low score in
very low
Vimshopak.
score in Vimshopak Bala. So which means that this is an indication that you can also look at the Bhava Lord strength in Vimshopak Bala. And it is adding to the story, right?
So the second bhava seems to be afflicted in both the cases. The fifth bhava seems to be afflicted in both the cases. Now, one interesting question I want to raise is, what has happened to Mercury in the father's chart? Why am I talking about Mercury is because of the nature to, act impulsively without thinking. So if that buddhi, the working mechanism of the mind seems to be afflicted, then that can even lead to
Very nice.
sudden acts.
We can check. What is
So
happening?
Mercury seems to be in a Papakartari, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Mercury is in Papakartari.
And it is having the same degrees as Ketu and Rahu.
Yeah, it is not a complete Papakartri because we have Venus, right? Yeah, but mostly malefics, correct? You're right. Mostly malefics, that Venus is. And
So we have the Manakarakan moon in 12th house getting if you're talking about the Nakshatra Lord is Saturn, and then we are looking at moon is also the 12th Lord. I don't know how to read that moon because it's the 12th Lord and in own sign, so it seems to be quite strong for the father.
You can simply say it is an isolated moon. It's an isolated mind.
Okay.
It's an isolated mind. It is a dreaming mind, isolated
that
mind.
Prefers to be alone in isolation or something.
It is alone in isolation. It is.
And if you take the fifth aspect of Rahu, then there is an aspect of Rahu. If you take the aspect of Jupiter, it's a Vakri Jupiter from the 8th Lord. Ashtamadhipati is aspecting.
Correct. Very nice. But
yeah, affliction on the family house, affliction on the Putra, that is Putra Bhagstan, Putrasthan. There seems to be a problem here.
Yeah, and in the women's chart, right? It's not only the fifth house I mean, someone said there is no Putra dosha, but no. See, I think Putra dosha is a very generic term. Like the way you look at things. See, look at the fifth house from the Jupiter, Karaka. That both Mars and Saturn are slamming it. And the fifth lord. Fifth lord.
For the mother? For the mother?
Yeah. From Jupiter, look at the fifth house and fifth lord.
Yeah, from
Saturn
Jupiter.
and Mars influence. It's there on the screen.
Even though Mercury is exalted, but yes, the malefic.
No, here. Yeah, it has strength. But what is the point in having strength when it is literally, when there is a gun in the. See, it's like this. An analogy will be that if that Mercury, it is like the president sitting in the White House, and there are like terrorists attacking that president. At least if the president was at home. Yeah, president is in a very powerful position. So what? The Mars and Saturn are attacking it at the president's office. It's like that. So not only the White House, but also the presidents of the leader of the White House, which is the president, both are under being attacked. It's something like that. We can think of it something like that, and maybe it will be interesting to see what is the degree of Mercury. Means like 9 degrees for 7 minutes. Yeah. So Jupiter from the fifth house from Jupiter and fifth house from Moon is also problematic in this case. And fifth lord Venus is having a low Vimshopak score. And now why is it happening in Rahu Dasha? Now the question is, where is Rahu?
Is it that Saturn is aspecting Rahu also, right? Will that qualify as Shrapit Dosha or no?
Yeah. See, Saturn is the sixth lord and eighth lord aspecting that Rahu, right? It is afflicting the Dasha lord. Yes, you are correct. So therefore, yes, I don't know
maybe
what
that
is the
why
name of
Rahu. Rahu is the period in which the child got murdered or the loss of child happened was Rahu Ketu.
Look at that Rahu Ketu in Saptamsha.
Yeah.
It is along the 2-8 axis, longevity axis. Rahu is in the 8th house of Saptamsha. Sudden. I think this is a perfect Saptamsha chart. It is a perfect timing of the wife. Look at Rahu is in the 8th, aspected by Saturn. Navamsha also shows 5th lord debilitated. Mars aspecting the 5th house, all that. What is this?
Vinod, the Saptamsa, 5th house is debilitated.
Yeah, yes, sir.
The 5th from Navamsha Lord is also debilitated.
Correct, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is also a big minus. So this person has Putra dosha.
Correct, sir.
But the fifth lord is aspected by both Saturn and Mars.
But if you look at Saptamsa, you finish because I think it looks like accurate Saptamsa, because the 5th from the 5th, the 9th lord is also in the 12th.
Phew. Yeah. And
So
sir, that like we were discussing, like how do we give hope to the lady, right? So if you look at, I was just telling that next dasha is that of Jupiter, sir. Now Rahu is almost going to end. Rahu, Venus, Rahu, Sun, Moon, Mars. Next dasha is that of Jupiter, and it is clearly in the wife's chart. Seventh lord is in the 12th house, right? So seventh lord in the 12th house can also be interpreted as seventh lord is going to imprisonment. Will that be a fair statement to make, sir?
yeah, that's a very nice way of looking at. I mean, sorry, that's valid point. Seventh lord in the 12th, husband in imprisonment.
Sir, is she thinking maybe that guy is thinking like the child is not belong to him? Is that the reason?
How do we know that? From whose chart can we find out? I don't know what is the rule to I have not done any
Because he is
case
such a
study like that.
small boy, why he is having like any other grudge or anything on
I
his
mean,
own child?
I mean that you can do without astrology. Maybe you're by looking at the cause and effect, logics. Maybe what you're saying is correct, but then I don't know what is the astrological way to find that out.
Oh, okay.
Sir, also we were looking at that Vimshopak Bala of Venus, the fifth lord, sir. It is very weak, 9.5. And that Venus is in
Which one?
Sandhi in the
Which one?
the Vimshopaka Bala of the
Ah,
fifth lord Venus, sir, is very weak. It is 9.5, and it is also that Venus is also in a Sandhi position. It is at the border of Gemini and Cancer, 0 degrees.
but shouldn't we look at the husband's chart? Because see, seventh lord in the 12th, husband going away, husband going to imprisonment, loss because of husband. You can change it according to the situation, but there is a big problem, right? Because even in the Bhava chart, Jupiter stays there; it doesn't move. So then having Saturn as the lord of the eighth in the seventh, but in the Bhava chart it is in the sixth, right? So I think why see, because it is a question about the mother asking, will the father of the child go to jail? Should we not look at the husband's chart more than this chart? Because we already know the event here.
Yes, sir. The husband is running Ketu Dasha. Ketu is in the
Can
second
you
house.
who's sharing the screen? Can they change it to?
Devi, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It
this
is
is the
up.
transit. Yeah. So that Ketu is with Mars in the Marakasthana, and Ketu Dasha is running. So Polis is after him. Can we say that, sir?
Oh, he's going
Ma-
through Ketu, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, Guruji.
Oh,
And in the coming transit, Ketu is going over Ketu and Mars.
okay. It's coming back to the natal. Okay. Yeah. Here, how does it look from his wife's point of view? Seventh Lord is in
Fourth.
fourth.
Actually, his seventh lord is having so much of benefic influence, sir. Jupiter is aspecting that seventh lord. Saturn is sitting with Venus. His seventh lord is good, which means that the lady is quite okay with the
Okay.
situation, right? Sir,
But then
another thing, sir. Lagna lord.
but he must also
Lagna,
have Putra dosha, right? To even whatever has happened, the child is gone. So he must also have Putra dosha, right? Is it also showing the same way?
Both are showing
yes,
Putra
Yes,
Dosha,
Ketu in the
Guruji,
sir,
and
sixth house
both
in
heavily,
are,
sir.
both are
circumstances.
showing even the
Oh,
second Bhava also is
Heavily.
having a problem. Both are
oh,
having the problem with the Putra and the family Bhavas.
At least if that Jupiter had been somewhere else, it would have escaped from Karak. Now, because in this is something that we normally discuss, sir. In the case of a Leo Lagna, if the fifth lord has a problem, then fifth lord Karaka everything is gone at the same
Yeah,
time.
double problem. Okay.
Yeah, so that fifth lord is going to the eighth house of
Uh,
secrecy and sudden mystery,
okay.
murder, and all that. And it is along Rahu Ketu axis, and Mars is aspecting that fifth house, fifth lord, and Karaka.
Oh, that is okay.
And that Mars degree and Jupiter degree are less than 1 degree apart. So 100% aspect.
Oh, okay. What is the actual Antardasha and Ketu now?
Mars.
Ketu Mars. Ketu Mars. Then what?
Pratyantar is also Mars.
No, we'll stick to Antar. Enough. Just break up only the. Don't want to see because all this. We'll first finalize Bhukti Antardasha. Which one is you think more? I think Ketu Mars must be very bad, right? What do you think?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Simply Ketu Mars. Because if you look at Parashara, when he's just beginning to talk about, not the breakup, all the Antardashas, in the Dasha summary, he says Rahu hurts most in 2, 8, and 12.
Oh.
Rahu Ketu. Always. That is a rule for Rahu and Ketu. That's why in my article, Ketu's, oh my God, I said, only if you have it in 2, 8, and 12, continue to read the article. Okay.
Sir, one more thing, sir. That Mars is in. Can we check that Mars Vimshopak Bala?
Yeah, we can. I think Sridevi is in command, so she can.
Mars is having 110, Guruji.
Mars,
which is quite high actually. Quite high.
Sadbala.
In Vimshopak.
Vimshopak
is usually 20-point score, right?
No, in Sri Jyoti.
Oh, Sri Jyoti is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jupiter is the lowest actually. Jupiter is 48, whereas Mars is very high, 113. Is the highest actually.
Oh, see, in this case, Shadbala strength also, it is clearly correlating, sir. That fifth lord being afflicted, Shadbala strength is showing 89. Pah.
Very low, right?
Kishore, I am always suspicious about the Vimshopaka and Shadbala in Sri Jyoti.
Yes, Guruji, that's why I don't look at Shadbala in Sri Jyoti. I only look at Vimshopak actually. Vimshopak is okay somewhat. I mean, there's not major discrepancies.
But it's still 20 points scale.
No, you can reduce it, right? You can make it to 100%. See, the point
Are you
is
using percentage? Okay.
No, if you say 20, Sri Jyoti has made it to 100%, from 100 reference point. Okay, that's
Sir,
okay.
I once asked Mr. Andrew Foss. He said that, as someone stated, right, Vimshopaka, there is not major difference, marginal difference, because the calculation is pretty straightforward. But in Shadbala, I think, as someone said rightly, there is a lot of difference between.
I'll tell you why. My own software and what is this? Jagannath Hora, we are almost similar.
Okay.
So two calculations are similar. That is the idea. Okay. So we are very close to each other. Sometimes it's almost like exact same. So two different people writing a software and coming to. This is just a way of easily ascertaining which might be wrong. Maybe both of us are wrong. Who knows? Okay.
So actually, Mr. Jyotish Kasi has put in a comment in the chat, which is like very well summarized. I think.
Oh.
I thought.
Where is it?
It's a very nice summary.
Now or before?
At 9:06 p.m.
Okay. I'll go there.
He has summarized it very, very well.
You need to stack up. You'll never be able to conclude if he is a culprit, but you will be able to stack up the attributes that lead to the event. That is a Lagna Vichara. Lagna is afflicted by SA and Lagna Lord is debilitated. There is no other stability to love. A weak Lagna unable to deal with adverse situations. Okay. Attention to 5th house. Okay. Again. Yeah, there is violence in second house, right?
Yeah.
There is violence in second.
And
Mars
that
and
Ketu
Ketu.
Mars sitting in Virgo, right? That Virgo is also the sixth house of the Kalapurusha.
Then, can't we conclude in Ketu Dasha, Mars Antardasha, things can go wrong for him?
Yeah, but only thing is, Ketu Mars is definitely looking very problematic. But whether is it problematic to the level of putting him into prison? Maybe yes. But in the wife's chart, seventh lord in the 12th dasha is coming only in 2025.
Oh,
Maybe he will go through battles, and finally, after 4 years and 5 years of legal case going on, when her Jupiter dasha starts, he
okay.
will be finally imprisoned. At that time, this guy will still be running. This person will still be running Ketu dasha.
Okay.
But only thing is, the next dasha is not so bad for him, right, sir? Because Venus, of course, it is afflicted by Saturn, so maybe he will get separated from his spouse. But Venus dasha is not looking so problematic that he will be in prison. No, sir. Maybe he will somehow fight the case and come back.
Yeah, it happens in this world. It's so difficult to get justice. That's why this poor mother is so
So the long run next dasha Ketu. So if there is if he has to get justice, I think my interpretation would be he has to get it in. I mean, if he has to get punished, he has to get it in Ketu. If the case
crosses.
cracks,
Okay, you're saying if he crosses Ketu, is out of the woods.
yeah, if he crosses Ketu, looking at that Venus, it doesn't look like very like he will undergo imprisonment and all, right, sir? He will. It looks like, yeah, he will get separated from his wife maybe because it is with Saturn.
Actually, if you look at the 12th lord in the 12th, we should be very careful with 12th lord in the 12th. See, 12th lord in the 12th, only in the context of discussing the Viparita Raj Yoga, if you just remove it, and if you look at 12th lord in the 12th, it's not good, even from Parashara's point of view. Remember, in our beginners class, we used to say 12th lord almost everywhere is bad. Only except 8th house where we quoted, I think, Sri Ravi Shankar's horoscope or something like that, right? Or second lord, 12th lord in the second where you have income through foreign countries. Other than that, 12th lord in the 12th is also a kind of imprisonment only.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing, sir.
You said that, is it? Okay, I didn't. I was not available.
No, not imprisonment. No, I did not say that, sir. But I'm just telling that the 12th lord, that moon is kind of very lonely. It does not have, generally in this Shastras and classics, they always say different yogas like Vesi yoga, Osi yoga.
This is
Basically,
Kema
what they are trying to say is, it is always for the king and the queen, which is the sun and the moon. They always like to have people need support on both in the second and the 12th from it.
Okay.
Right now, in this case, that moon is very lonely. It does not have any support. Yeah, it is of course in its own sign, but it is still waning and it is somewhat lonely.
Why don't we look into the aspects, the aspect table, which will be on the fourth link on the top, view aspect table, and look at the 12th house and the 12th lord, how many malefic influences there on that.
Yeah, sure. That is nice, sir.
Do that. Who's
we have not done that. We have not done that.
Who's doing this? Sri Devi. Is she available?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sri Devi, can you show us the aspect table? Aspect table?
And another thing before that, sir, this Harsha Bala. Okay. What makes this Sun and Mars at 0? Okay, sir. I am reading one thing in Quora. Someone, as a student of Vedic astrology, has represent that, because I don't remember Harsha Bala coming in Shadbala or all that. So Harsha, he says that Harsha literally means happiness. Planets are.
That's what. Okay, 6th lord in the 6th.
Viparita Raj Yoga.
Viparita Raj Yoga. Okay.
So that Harsha Yoga, he is saying that to determine the strength of the Harsha Yoga, 4 points are considered. One is position of a planet in a specific house, placement in exaltation or own sign, placement in house belonging to its own sex. Strength depending on Varsha Pravesha during daytime. Looks like some complicated concept. When each of the above point gets fulfilled, then a planet gets 5 points each. A planet which satisfies all 4 points gets a Harsha ball of 20, making it an extraordinary planet.
But
Thus, the planet gives much benefits during the Dasha period.
okay.
Okay, along
No,
with
but I
explaining.
think when Jyotish Kasi wrote that Lagna Lord is debilitated from there, you slowly start building up. Because your own Lagna means your self-esteem and all that. So in imprisonment, especially if you get convicted in a crime like this, it will be the opposite of power and prestige and name and fame and all
And
that.
that Lagna Lord is also hemmed, sir, by Saturn, Mars, and
Oh
Ketu.
yeah, that's a nice point. I
Only
mean, maybe
thing is that Venus is trying to somewhat take. It is actually Papakartari of Lagna Lord and debilitated Lagna Lord, which means
yeah.
this person can go to any extent to get his base activities fulfilled. That is one thing
So
is
one more
clear.
point I want to add here, sir. The sun in the third house afflicted leads to Vamsha Nasha is there, sir. Sun in third.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Sun in third, is it from Brigasutram?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. But I think the summary given by Jyotish Kasi is very impressive.
Very nice, actually.
Yeah.
Towards the end,
It
he
is
has
very clear
summarized
cut.
that.
Yeah, he's done a very good job. Thank you, Jyotish Kasi.
Yeah,
Dilip,
in fact,
Because I think
I
he's
was
trying to understand. He's trying to
I was
understand.
actually in and out.
Okay.
So I gave the initial summary.
Very nice.
But I think everybody here is stacking it up very, very well.
Yeah.
There are two things I just want to bring to the attention. Especially the moon is pretty deceptive, I thought, on D1. D1. Being in its own house, people may generally conclude it's very strong.
Okay.
And stable. But when you when you look at it, it is in 22nd Rakana. And it is also the Lord of 22nd Rakana, if I'm right.
Oh.
It is situated in 22nd Rakana. It is a Lord of 22nd Rakana. And it is afflicted by Saturn in D3, which is the Lord of 22nd Rakana from Moon.
Oh.
So I think that Moon is a little bit deceptive. That was one of the things I just want to highlight. So his mind doesn't look like that stable here.
No, see, Jyotish Kasi, you're right, because a general overall thing that happens in the sky has to be somehow adjusted to the specific horoscope. So suppose you're born, this guy is born 2 hours before, then moon is in Lagna Swakshetra, right? Lagna Lord in Lagna. Now that, for these people, it will be a fantastic moon. But the moment the Lagna slips like this, and when moon slips into the 12th house, even, this is, I concluded all by myself. And even today, when we are doing this Prashna session, Mahadevan Iyer kept repeating this at least 4 or 5 times. What use is it? He was shouting. It's of no use. It's gone. He used some fantastic examples to say it's useless. I think, out of context, he said.
For what it is useless?
See, when you say moon is in own house, should we give importance to that? So he's saying no, you need not give importance, because you forget that moon is in own house, but moon is in the 12th has to be given more importance.
Yeah, placement by Bava supersedes.
Yeah, supersedes that, because he's saying, he used an example. I think this is what he said. He said, it's like a Brahmin sitting in the bar, something like that. I don't know how far, it matches what we are trying to say. So what? He's a Brahmin. So what? He's now in the bar, he says.
Or we can actually do this, sir. Going by the probability, you always explain this, no, sir? Like the one which is quite rare is to be given more importance.
Correct.
Like
rarer, more powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the moon will be Swakshetra, that is in its own sign for almost 2.5-3 days.
Correct.
But
2.25 days.
Yeah. So why should he be? Why is he chosen to be born at a time when it is going to the 8th house? That will happen only 3 out of 12 instances. So the probability is 1/3 time, 30% of the time. So whichever is there has to be given a bit more importance than the one.
Now Now Jyotish Kasi added the 22nd Drakana point. That's why I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we have a point here because then the Lagna degree, everything comes into play, right?
Correct.
Because we are using, Jyotish Kasi used Drakana from Lagna only, right? Not from Moon. Which one did you use?
Yeah, from Lagna.
From Lagna. So from Lagna means already you're bringing in the exactness of the time of birth. So definitely, and then on top of that, Harshabala, Sun gets 0. I don't know about Mars. I don't know how to bring it into the discussion. But usually I think in all this, where they go through some extraordinary bad, you will see the Lagna also in trouble. Because you need a permission, at least minimum permission. Only if the Lagna is afflicted, only it will happen.
Sir, and also, sir.
Yeah, both mind and soul are.
Yeah,
both mind and soul.
in a way, even the Lagna is hemmed because in this case, Moon is considered to be a malefic. Okay, of course, it is aspected by Jupiter, but it is still a waning moon and it is still a lonely moon. So it is almost like a malefic only in this case. So even the Lagna is under Papakartri, and even the Lagna Lord is almost under Papakartri, bearing that Venus. So this is definitely
it is afflicted by Saturn anyway. It is aspected by Saturn anyway. So.
Which one?
Lagna.
Yeah, Lagna is afflicted only, and Lagna Lord is also not under any benefic influence and debilitated and hemmed, and Lagna is also hemmed. So overall, this.
But I have a fundamental question here. I know that the question was the original question I thought was from the wife, that will she get justice? I thought that was the question, right? But my overarching question is, what is she really seeking in terms of justice? Has she already concluded that it is committed by her husband, or is she wants real justice? That's my question. What is she really seeking in terms of the word justice?
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, Shobhaji. Yes, Shobhaji, you're audible.
Yeah. Basically, I'm the mother of the child, so maybe I'll be breaking because I'm traveling. So basically, by justice, I mean that it's been like 2 years this crime was committed, and it is not yet disclosed who committed it, why was it committed, and what was the reason behind this crime. So it is still unknown. I'm still fighting with the police and the government and all. And actually one guy was arrested behind this murder, but he has not yet disclosed that why did he commit it. We don't even know him. Who is he? Why he did it? It is unknown. He's just making stories like somebody told him, and it is like he's telling he did it himself. But the reason is unknown. The person who is unknown, he just enters into the house and commits the murder and just takes the child to some unknown place. So the reason is suspected to be known. And who asked him to do this? That is like the question here.
So Shobhaji, sorry to ask this. The reason you are suspecting your husband is generally because of his personality traits, because the horoscope of the husband definitely shows that some amount of base activity, lot of aggression and psychological and physical. I'm sorry, psychological.
No. I think Vinod. I think basically Shobhaji is trying to seek justice in terms of the truth. I think we should set aside every other factor.
That is there, but I'm not suspecting my husband on the basis of the chart. Actually, what happened is so basically what happened during the incident, on the day of the incident itself, my husband just ran away to Jaipur, and even when he got the news of that the child has passed away and this incident has happened, he did not even bother to come. And if you can see from the chart, and somebody also told that husband and wife would have been separated. So that's true, we are separated, and we are having cases going on in the court. And on the day when I had also filed for the maintenance of the child. So the just one day before this incident happened, he was supposed to clear of the maintenance, which was pending for 25 months. And that day, I think judge did not come in the court, and he did not pay the maintenance. And the next day itself, this crime happened. So the question is like, how is it possible, and how is the coincidence that when the murder happened, when the murder was planned, he just moved to Jaipur, and he did not come even after listening to this such a tragic news. And it is like he did not even appear in front of the police. Police had to struggle for 1.5 years to get him in front of them. And he's just making stories and multiple stories, like he did not get the news, or he got the news after 4 days and I did not inform him. All such nonsense. He's just creating multiple stories in front of everybody. And and one more thing to capture over here, like what he did is we were separated when this incident happened. We were separated for 3 years, and he did not even bother to ask about the well-being of the child. He never asked about it. And before this incident happened, my uncle had visited to our native. So he was asking the videos and photos of the child. And even when the incident happened, the dead body of the child, the photos of dead body of the child, all such things were getting delivered to him. God knows how it was happening. So when he was like, he was new to my place, new to my native place, who was delivering, who was sending all the photos to him, and who was giving him all the information? I was being there, I was present there. I was not getting much information, what all information he was having. So that's why I'm suspecting, like, probably he has gathered some people, and he has already planned, and he has probably taken new number to plan this murder, and all these things he has planned. That's why I'm suspecting him, and I'm like I'm having very deep understanding, or I can say like deep sensation that he is definitely behind this. Even and one more point to raise over here, like we also had gone through narco test last month in December 2022, and though the reports are still pending, we have not yet got the report. Police has directly told me that he has given clean chit to me. Even they were suspecting me also behind this murder, so they have given clean chit to me. But to my husband, they are not telling clearly. They are just telling we are awaiting reports. We are awaiting reports. So I'm not sure why are they not saying anything clear about him. So this is also giving me one more point to doubt on him.
I think Shobhaji, you can, if you look at the group chat, I don't know if you were already listening, but there is whatever we've discussed so far, right? So that has been summarized by Jyotish Kasi, and it is the overall conclusion and the psychological profile of the husband, and whether or what is the probability. Everything is clearly indicated there. That's what we all also believe to be the case, right? So
Sir, actually, due to network issue, I have missed most of the points. So I may request Dhilip sir or any one of you to share the recording of this video, so that I can check it once I am out of the train. But the only question is like, when will all the culprits be arrested? Because looking at the severity of the crime, it does not look like that one person was involved in this. It is definitely 7 or 8 people are there. Even I must tell you that it was not only the child who was hurt. Basically, the child was sleeping with my mother. So the criminals has assaulted my mother also, and then they have killed the child. So it's like mother was also gone to deathbed, and somehow we have saved her. But still, because they had hit her with a hammer on her head, and she fainted, and then they killed the child. It's like because of the hit on the head, my mother's right side of the body is paralyzed. So she is unable to walk, she is unable to move since 2 years. She is on the bed itself. So it is not possible for one person to do it.
Yeah.
Sharadasha, they both are running sixth house dashas, court cases.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So certainly the current Mahadasha and Antardasha, that is the current major period and sub period, and the forthcoming one, which is in June 2023. So until July 2024, next 1.5 years, looks like a very terrible time for this for the husband. And yeah, so it definitely indicates that I mean, the police is behind him, and he has to go through a very difficult phase. So, so this is what I see, I can summarize from the husband's chart. But what is indicating in the wife's chart is that, right, that from May 2028, when you enter into the Jupiter dasha, that is kind of indicating that the seventh lord goes to the 12th house, which means that it is kind of indicating imprisonment of the husband. So certainly the points that were summarized in the chat, like, that do indicate, from an astrological perspective, it is very clear that the husband kind of has is very aggressive, has dignity issues, very irritable, very angry person, and then has personality disorders. And it certainly, I mean, I wouldn't say that this is not showing any indications of it. Certainly shows indications of mystery and murder and all of that, right? Having said that, I think the next two dasha bhuktis, next 1.5 years, is kind of very crucial. So till 2027 is the husband is running Ketu dasha, which is a very difficult period of time. So in the next 4 years, definitely I think the person is likely to go through um, you know um imprisonment or any punishment by any means. Or in other words, my conclusion would be that the next 4 years is very crucial. So because the dasha bhukti changes after 2027, in after 2027, the time becomes slightly better for the husband. So it is better to make use of this next 2 to 3 years very critically to get the justice. But certainly, the it is indicated in your horoscope that there is a strong possibility of imprisonment for the husband. But over to others.
I want
Yeah.
to ask one question. Does your husband has siblings? I mean, it's not relevant,
Yes,
but it is
he
going
has.
to
Yeah,
younger
he
or
has.
younger or elder siblings. Does he has elder or younger siblings?
Yeah. Two younger siblings and one elder sibling.
And also, Shobhaji, I just wanted to point out
And
one
his
thing.
relationship is good with them.
What did you say? Sorry.
I mean, how is his relationship with his siblings?
I can't say very good, but just normal type.
Okay.
Yeah, and just before I just forget, I just wanted to say one thing, Shobhaji. Like, I came across a Supreme Court judgment where a lady with whom I personally had a conversation with, that person had to go through, court cases at the Supreme Court to get custody of her own son and daughter, and that it was a Supreme Court landmark judgment, and it was handled by an advocate from Mumbai. So if you are encountering any sorts of legal issues in terms of getting the justice, yeah, please just let me know, because I can probably introduce you to that advocate, because um, that was a very complicated judgment where she's a lady advocate, and she was quite. I got to know from that mother that she was quite considerate, and it was because of that advocate who she's a very leading lawyer in Mumbai, and in the Mumbai, and it was a landmark judgment. So if you need any sort of legal immunity or resolution, yeah, I mean, I can just introduce you to that person, right? I'm sure you must be having the necessary legal advice and advocates and along with you, but just let me know, because I can just definitely uh, you know refer you to that person who is kind of a very humanitarian but also a very powerful advocate who has won Supreme Court judgments. So just let me know. In fact, I can just introduce you to that person to that mother who won the case after going to the Supreme Court, and that person will be able to refer you to that advocate from Mumbai.
Vinod, this Rahu Ketu 28 axis, this incident happened when he turned 32.
No, but one minute. I just want to know whether Shobha ji actually listened to this or not. Like if not, please can you please communicate this to, because I do. I mean, I'm just serious in my statement. I just want to do something that is, because we've had this conversation for about like two hours, right? So something good, if it could be done to her in terms of getting this, I am willing to help, and I'm willing to refer her to that person who won the Supreme Court case and got custody of their children. And even that was quite a criminal case, and so I'm sure you will get a lot of good legal advice from that person. You can also choose to um, consult that advocate. Did Shobha ji listen? If not, can someone please communicate this to Shobha ji and they can reach out to me?
Yeah. And I don't think she's there, but even I wanted to add that if she wants to connect me, I mean, I don't know the laws in India right now, but if there is a way that she can get a restraining order for herself also, that would be good. And if there's anything that she wants to connect with, I can give her some very specific information on how that process works and how the law works. And very, very sorry to hear that. And hopefully, she'll get out of this strong and justice will be served. I don't think she can hear us, but hopefully when she hears the recording, and if anybody wants to communicate.
Yeah, sure, Soumya. I'll talk to Dhilip sir, and I'll also convey this whatever you said. And sir, Dhilip sir, in case you are listening, I really want to refer her to that advocate who won the Supreme Court case, and it was a landmark judgment. So maybe after the meeting or something, I'll connect with you separately on this, sir. I think sir is also not listening. I think we may have to wrap up.
We haven't seen the chart of the boy yet.
The boy was born in Salisati, by the way.
Yeah, can you open the child? I mean, but anyways, like my point is, like, we've seen the husband's chart, and whatever conclusion we've made so far is enough from both the chart, right?
Yeah, but Rahu Ketu 28 is, I think this incident happened when he turned 32. Husband was 32, and in 2030, one thing that I'm observing is Venus Moon comes. Moon is the 12th house. That's when he turns 45. Usually there is a rule like 32, 45, 60. Rahu Ketu on 28 axis. Something bad will happen to the native.
Hello, how's it going?
Sir, thank you, sir. I mean, I was just telling to Shobha, but Shobha could not hear that I recently, sir, sometime few months before, and also Soumya wanted to convey something. I'll leave it. I'll give it to her next. But about 6 months before, a lady consulted me who was actually battling a case with the Supreme Court for custody of um, her children. And it was a landmark judgment. I will actually send you the judgment copy after the end of this call.
Oh.
And I know her entire story, like where the husband actually harassed her and took away the children. He was very powerful, and he. I mean, seldom do we hear. I mean, we would not have imagined that in a country like India, that the lady has to run behind courts and go all the way up to the Supreme Court and fight a case for about 6 to 7 years to get custody of the children, right? So that's a landmark judgment, which I have the copy of the judgment, and I also know that person quite well because she consulted me, right? So I was just I was just suggesting that we can discuss the chart for 2 hours, but something from my side, if I could help, and this advocate who actually got the custody of the children for this lady seems to be a very humanitarian and a very nice human being, and also she's one of the leading advocates in Mumbai, and who yeah. I mean, I don't want to name that person right now here in this forum, but I can just connect with you offline, sir. So, and I can refer, and I am still in touch with that person. Like she, I can refer Shobha madam to that lady and to that advocate.
Got it. Yeah. We can. I don't know, but we'll suggest, because this is getting recorded, and this recording will be made available to her. So I'll ask her to watch the last portion of the session. Okay.
Right. I can share the number. You can in case
I'll pass on the number also, so you can give her whatever hints, suggestions, etc. Okay. While I came in, something was, somebody was discussing a point. I interrupted. Who was it?
I think
I was saying about two Rahu Ketu 2/8 axis, Guruji.
Oh, Anu. Okay. 2/8 axis Rahu Ketu. Yes. What is? We already said that, right? It is a lot of affliction.
But the incident happened when the husband was 32.
Wow. Oh, that is Bhrigu Sutra rule, right? 32, 45, 60.
Yeah, and at 45, he's getting Venus Moon, which is the 12th house Antardasha.
Oh, you think it will take that long?
Yeah, court cases do take long in India, Guruji.
Oh my God. To get justice, it takes so much time.
Sir, and also, sir, in the child's horoscope, can someone open the child's horoscope?
Yeah. Soumya is in control.
It's. I think it's not there.
No, Sri Devi.
Sri Devi, yes.
This is another pattern that even Sanjay Rath has mentioned. Generally, malefics in trikonas are not welcome.
Correct. That's a standard rule, because Lakshmi Sthana, we don't want malefics, right?
Yeah, so I think in this case, actually, if you look at that Lagna Lord, it goes to the 10th house, it is having benefic influence and all that. So something should be seriously wrong with some unique pattern in the chart which shows Bala Rishta for this child, right? In this case, if you look at 159, all the trikonas are having only benefics.
Okay.
And
all the trikonas, correct.
And including the moon. That moon is also a malefic, right? Because it is still a waning moon. All the three. And 2 out of the 3 benefics are retrograde. So something is unusual about those benefics that it has not saved. And 4th house, sir. Generally, 4th house is freedom and security. Security is indicated by the 4th house. The comfort, Sukhasthana. Look at that. Sukhasthana is hemmed by Mars and Ketu.
The child was born in Venus Dasha.
Yes, and that Venus.
First of all, Venus is 6th lord and 11th lord. You could get injured if you are in 6th lord's period. It's the number one enemy. It's the number one enemy for this Lagna. But Venus seems to be retrograde but exalted, is it? Okay. How close to the sun?
The child was born in Sadisati.
It's Bangalore, I think. Bangalore, right?
I don't know. Bangalore. What is
yes,
Bangalore?
Guruji, it's Bangalore. And was it not Sadisati, Guruji, at the time of birth?
No, the place is written as Bengali.
But nothing will, I mean, not that much will change, but
are you sure? No. Bangalore is not on 21 North. It is at somewhere 13. It is on the level of Chennai. Yeah.
Oh, we took it as Bangalore, Guruji.
No. What is this? This is not Bangalore. Latitude of Bangalore is not 21. It is somewhere around 13, like Chennai.
Sir, one more thing which I want to share, sir. That Venus is the 6th lord and 11th lord. It is in the 4th.
Wait a minute. I'll help her. I'll help her 1 minute. First change it to India. Okay, rest of the world, and then you type, you search now. It will come for BAN, Bangalore, Bangalore, Bangalore. Yeah. Now press rest of the world. You see 12 degrees. It's 13 degrees. Okay. Doesn't change the lagna.
Am I audible, Guruji?
Yes.
Guruji, there's a Sadesati at the time of birth, Guruji, for the child.
Sadesati is on, correct.
And one more thing is, sir, Rahu is Magha Nakshatra, sir. Rahu is in the 9th and in Magha Nakshatra.
Yeah, please save the file. Please save the file. Always be very careful in the place of birth, because now if you look at, why don't you look at Dwadasamsa?
Oh yeah, correct.
Because father, mother, comparison, father, mother. Yeah, 9th house is father, son is father in Dwadasamsa.
Sir, D12 Venus is in the 6th house.
No, straight away problem here in Dwadasamsa. The sun, Rahu, all of them are on one axis.
Sir, and Venus Dasha Lord is in the 6th house of litigation.
Just a minute.
Even moon is afflicted, Guruji, by Saturn, Punarpu.
And in D12, Ketu is debilitated, sir, with sun in the 3rd house.
See, at least you get bad father, right, from Dwadasamsa.
Very clearly, sir.
Yeah, bad father we get.
Sir,
9th house involved. 9th house involved in an eclipse. Okay, Rahu, Sun, Ketu, they're all on one axis of the father's axis. Okay, so we have a problem there. So this could be, but I don't know how to connect it. But at least we know it's a bad father from the child's point of view.
Sir, also, sir, 9th Lord Sun goes to the 8th from the 9th. Wow. That is also a very interesting thing.
Vinod, one more thing. When you see a planet in a particular house in the Rashi and Bhava, identical, in this case, father's house is having Rahu, but it holds on to the same place from Dwadasamsa Lagna. You see that? So whenever you see a repetition, like a Vargotama concept, when you see a house repetition based on a single topic and the respective divisional chart, it is like a double confirmation always.
So
like
you mean to say Rahu in the 9th in the Lagna and D12?
Exactly. For example, if you randomly look, Saturn is where in Lagna, okay? But in Dwadasamsa, is Saturn in Lagna? No.
Correct.
So like that, you'll have to...
Sir, generally this will happen. Again, generally, not always. Generally, this will happen when the Lagna degree and that 9th, and that Rahu degree.
If it is, what you're saying, I understand. See, the point is, I'm not saying why it is coming there, but I'm saying the pattern repeats.
Correct.
Whereas, I think what you tried to say was, if Lagna degree and the planetary degree is the same, you expect it to stick on to the same place in most of the divisional chart, but not for planets placed in distant houses. That idea you cannot use it. Okay. But no, I'm just saying this Rahu is very different, because in Dwadasamsa Rahu is Nicha, and the eclipse thing, though astronomically it is not an eclipse from the date of birth point, in Dwadasamsa there is an eclipse on the father's place.
Correct, sir.
You understand? So like that, you'll have to take it.
And also that in this case, that Saturn, Mars, Rahu, this is a very unique way by which 3 malefics are splitting in all the 3 trikonas.
No, this is a very important rule. The 159 malefics is a very important rule.
And it is repeating from Chandra Lagna also, because moon is, so it is double concurrence.
Double, because, okay, Lagna and moon.
Sir, and one more thing, very, very dreadful about this. If you look at that, that ninth Lord Sun, Venus Dasha, right? This child was going through Venus Dasha. If you look at the nakshatra in which that Venus is placed, it is in Uttara Bhadrapada.
Oh, Saturn's nakshatra.
And the Uttaratadi nakshatra's symbol is the back legs of the funeral cot.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Puratadi nakshatra is the front legs of the funeral cot.
Okay.
Uttaratadi is back legs of the funeral.
Unfortunately, the body was found on 26th, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Though the murder, according to postmortem, I think was concluded as 24th, but the dead body was found on 26th Jan. Again, Saturn, because Kishorji also pointed out that it was the child's 7.5 years is also going on.
And that moon is also the 8th Lord coming to the Lagna. 8th Lord in the Lagna.
No, from this we can do one thing. We can say father is the villain. Okay, but how exactly it happened, I don't know how to connect everything. But at least we know.
And also based on what Shovam said, right? Why should he escape if he has not committed the crime? Why should he go to Jaipur? All that.
Yeah. Usually they to create a alibi, right? They'll just say I was not here at all. I was in some other place.
And Guruji, I was just adding that divorces have been happening in the US for so long that now they have that data. Now in India, divorces have just started recently, maybe 5-6 years or 10 years.
5-6 years it's on the rise.
But I just sent a link for Shobha ji later if she wants to connect with me. Okay. So they already have the data in the US of the number of children that get murdered during a divorce or separation. Yeah, because either the parent is either a narcissist and they want to just get back at the spouse, and looks like what she was telling, this her mother was also attacked. So I have a feeling, now this is something that I'm just guessing, that I have a feeling that he maybe also wanted to just maybe wipe out the family, which includes her as well.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, maybe she was not at home or something. But this is very common. Unfortunately, I mean, divorce has a lot of
I get your
dangerous side effects. Yeah. So I sent the link to her. In the chat.
Okay, yeah. I'll pass it on to her. I'll copy paste that link and put it in the WhatsApp now. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to add one more point, sir. At the time of the death of the child, sir, Jupiter is debilitated. It is the 5th lord of the for the husband's chart, and the Lagna lord for the child, sir.
Pardon me, one minute. I was looking at something else. Can you repeat that last line?
Jupiter is Lagna lord. 5th lord is the 5th lord. Jupiter is for husband.
You're talking about husband's chart.
Yeah, for husband, 5th lord is Jupiter, and it is debilitated at the time of the child's death. And Jupiter is the Lagna lord for the child.
Oh, you did a chart for the time of death.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The transits for the transit.
Oh, transits you've done. Okay. Oh, Sai Ram.
Jupiter is having a problem at the times.
And at the time of transit chart, Mars is in Swagrahi and Rahu is also in Ucha.
Very strong, yeah.
Rahu
is Ucha, yeah.
But I think somebody else quoted Brigasutram, Sun in the third, right? A trick in astrology, you can you go back to father's chart. There is a very fantastic idea in astrology that when you read planetary positions, there will be a lot of lines, right? There will be many things. How to connect it is, like for example, if you go through Brigasutram, it will always be malefic means bad, benefic means good, like that, right? So if you add one more dimension, it will be exaltation, debilitation. So how to do it is, if you find a particular graha extremely weak, and that is the placement you're reading from Brigasutram, read the worst lines in that text. That's all.
Yes.
Are you getting this point? Read the worst thing in that paragraph. Like you let's say you look at it like sun in the third, good reputation and enjoy good wealth. How? That means it is only for sun in own house, sun in exaltation. If sun is associated with benefic, brothers will become prosperous because he's connected to the third house. So all these good things. Suddenly, if sun is associated with the malefic and is aspected by malefic, the family will be destroyed. This will be destroyed because he will go to jail and all kinds of things are happening. So that the negative of any statement in astrology will always go well with the actual avastha of the graha, which is not it's not a new idea at all. It is just building up on already what people are, the Maharshis have tried to give us.
So also in the husband's chart that exactly the Lagna and the moon are outside the Rahu Ketu axis.
Exactly.
All the other the Lagna degree, that is Lagna point and the moon.
Okay.
These both are outside the Rahu Ketu axis. All the other planets
are inside. Okay. No, but he's having something bad about him. We can easily guess. Not even without this, just by plain using simple astrology concepts itself, we can guess that. Like sun is Atma. When sun is good, it is good Atma. If sun is bad, it is bad Atma. Something like that. Because there it becomes Lagna Lord also. Okay. So how
Guruji?
Sorry, sir. Yeah.
Guruji, in the sun's chart, do we see any Balarishta? Because 8th Lord is in Lagna and Saturn is 12th from itself.
Yes.
Saturn is Ayush Karaka.
Yeah, in BPH it is said that if moon is in ascendant with a malefic, it can cause early death.
It is under Balarishta, but there's a gap between moon and Saturn. But I think still they are in the same Rashi at least, right?
No, I was mentioning about Ashtamadipati, 8th Lord moon being in Lagna, along with Saturn, who is also the 12th from itself. So Saturn being Ayul Karaka.
Okay.
So Saturn being Ayul Karaka, he is 12th from himself. And
got it.
And the dispositor of that is not in a
No, you're right. See, while we do stack up, if you simply say Ashtamadipati and Kendra is a long life, it is not, because there's a contradiction that if 8th Lord is in first house, it is not long life. Right? I don't know. It is, I think, not about health, but it is speaking about suffer from wounds and so on. Surgery. If you read the text, actually, it will say unhealthy, wounds and so on. So there is a possibility of getting wounds or hurt, but it is happening in a dasha of Venus, who is the lord of the 6th house of hurting. Because 6th house is enemies, and only enemies hurt. What they do is only hurt. So like that, maybe that's what you're mentioning. If moon, the lord of the 8th, is in the first house, it is short life.
Along with Saturn, Guruji.
Along with Saturn.
Yeah, okay. That was the point. So Saturn and moon both are like Punarpu, right? Usually they say.
Yeah.
Though it's not so close in degree wise.
Yeah.
Another point is to mention here is that it looks like, when you look at the boy's chart, it looks like Venus is exalted. But here, Venus is having a Astabangam.
Okay.
Astabangam dosha, right? So
Astamanam, okay.
Astamanam dosha. So that combustion happens, and that is the reason why sun being the 9th here for the child, the sun is the 9th lord and 9th is the father. He is the one who is combusting Mercury and Venus, which is the 7th and the 10th.
Okay, in that case, can Sridevi show the dasha and antardasha at the time of death?
Who actually made this
point? This is Kishore here, Vinodji. And one more thing I want to say is, for the time of at the time of the child's dasha was Venus and Saturn. At that time, I think it was 2020 to 2023. Venus Saturn. Venus is running a dasha from a combusted dignity.
Okay.
And retrograde. So though it mentioned, it does not say anything about second or the quality of that dasha itself is actually detrimental because of Venus's helplessness there.
And that Venus is not only the 6th lord from the Lagna, it is the 6th lord from the moon, it is the 8th lord from the sun. So from Sudarshana Lagna concept where you check what is the lordship from.
Yes. From all
So
the
it
three
is
reference point.
from and also from the Dashanath it is the 8th lord.
Which one?
Yes. From Venus, Guruji.
From Venus itself it is the 8th lord.
Okay.
Venus is playing the roles of 6th lord, 8th lord, 6th lord, 8th lord from all the reference points. And from the Kala Purusha it is the 12th house.
Okay.
So here already we see the lot of afflictions even in the boys chart. I wish we could have some, these sort of things are unfortunate, but maybe it's a lesson for all astrologers that we need to see the Dashanath's placement first and the dignity of the Dashanath, because that is constantly being referenced by Parashara Maharishi.
Yeah.
So that is an element which I will never forget when Sridevi ji when we had a discussion, and in one of the charts it was bang on target. After that, I always look at the Dasha before giving any static readings.
No, if you have to give a good reading, you have to spend days together for one chart. That's the truth.
Guruji, yes, Guruji.
It's not so easy.
It's not easy at all. And especially for a question that is as critical as today's, the reason why I was silent most of the time is because I am not convinced that we have actually probed in a proper way. The reason being that sometimes we tend to have information suited for our arrangement. I don't know how we call it. It's called like a reinforcement. Retrofitting or retro thinking. That should not happen. It should be in a very calm, deeper level. It should go.
Actually, retrofitting. Of course, in this case, because there is a genuine case, the mother is wanting answers.
Definitely, Guruji. Definitely.
Yeah, but there is a problem there. But without retrofitting, you cannot move.
It is very obvious, sir. Actually,
no. My statement is just that there should be no bias from outside while we are analyzing the chart. The chart should speak. The chart should speak.
I'll tell you what is the problem with retrofitting. I'll tell you how to do it. Just listen to this. If Rahu is in the 9th, you'll get murdered. If you make a statement like that, that is retrofitting. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
if Mars is in the 5th house, you'll get murdered. You look at the chart and then say a combination there and simply tell a statement based on the facts that is already known. That is a bad retrofitting. But a real retrofitting is you tell the thing and you'll have to quote a book and you have to be very scientific in that connecting way, because that connection will actually lead to the stack up and it will give us more confidence in what we say. So it's not bad to retrofit, but you should not retrofit like, oh, somebody is born in Sagittarius Lagna, he'll be murdered, like that. Only if you say like that, there is a problem. But if you say, I don't know exactly about murder, but I know there is a problem with his life, it's a short-lived combination, the mother's chart is showing this, the father's chart is showing this. So when you start building up, there is a problem. Then Vinod says, well, 159 malefics, slowly build up. These are all very scientific. But what I'm saying is, if somebody has Lagna, Mars and Moon and Saturn, and in 5th house Mars and 9th house Rahu, he'll be murdered. Now, which book? No book.
Yes, Guruji. That is what I was saying.
That is bad retrofitting.
The good retrofitting would be getting too many stack-up points in one direction.
And those statements should be astrologically sound and valid, and it should be almost classical, or at least some author, somebody did something. Some research is going on. It is not that we just said something like that. So I see, because in any science or any game, you got to study from what has already happened. You have to study only that way. There's no other way. But here, using all these hints, our objective is to say whether the father will be imprisoned, assuming that he is the one who is the culprit. Okay, he might not have come because you have to think like this. He might have disappeared from here. Maybe he knew. Maybe after it was announced in the newspaper that the child is missing or something. I don't know what really happened, but I'm just wild guess. Then thinking that if he is there, he might get into trouble. Usually people will run away because already there is trouble between them. There's also that possibility. You cannot say why is he missing on the date of, but after seeing his chart, we get a feeling that he can't be a good person. That much we can say. So once he is not a good person, and after that the rest is simply poetic justice, that if he's a villain, he will be arrested. That's all. If he's a bad person,
Moon in 12th says cruel person, sir.
Huh?
Moon in 12th says it gives also cruel person.
Oh yeah. That is also in, I think you are referring Bhrigu Sutram, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think angry, something like that. Separately, some statements are there. I remember.
Even Sun in the 3rd also, if afflicted, the person will be very brave in doing his
whatever he wants. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, whether it is good or bad.
Yeah.
And Sun is here debilitated. So that case.
Yeah, but then we'll have to also look in Harshabala. How often do we see charts having 0 points? Right? We'll have to keep looking into it. I don't know. I never looked into Harshabala. I always looked into Vimshopaka and Shadbala. That's all. I never went to any other thing in those charts.
By the way, sir, one more thing. In terms of gunas,
not this one. Wait, somebody is flashing this. It was father's chart. Father's chart, Vinod pointed out, right? Sun and Mars was at 0.
Yeah.
Guruji, I would like to share my screen, which has all the 3 charts plus the transit chart of the event.
No, Kishorji, what I'm thinking, there are a lot of people in all over the place in the in this class. So I think we will end here. Maybe if you feel, because now she's traveling, maybe if you want to repeat this in the next, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, any of these days, we'll repeat and start again fresh. Okay. Now that all of you have so much of details, maybe.
Just one point I just want to mention before going, sir, that Lagna Lord debilitated one is that base attitude. Yeah. It is in a Kamasthana. 3rd house is Kamasthana, number 2. And then that Sun in Vishaka, that Vishaka is very, very aggressive Graha. And that Vishaka's guna is a Rakshasa guna.
Oh, you mean, that's the Gana of Vishaka.
Guna of Vishaka is Rakshasa guna. So the Lagna Lord Sun, which is debilitated in the nakshatra of Vishaka, which is very aggressive and is getting hemmed. So it is very, very obviously showing the psychological profile of this person.
Ji, I think Lagna Lord debilitated
and Moon
also
is
means
Manas, right?
health
And
issues.
Moon, the 2 cruel, if it indicates that, then Sun more together and Lagna Lord debilitated. The mind we can
to add on to what Vinodji was saying, Guruji, Sun being natural Atma Karaka and also being the person who loves to, Nitivan and all that, justice and all that, living the life of Dharma. That is another reason why this not only Lagna Lord debilitated, but also Sun was debilitated.
Got it.
So here Lagna Lord debilitated could also mean health issues.
Okay.
So that wasn't the case because Sun was the Lagna Lord here, and Sun being debilitated afflicted the person's dharmic nature.
5th house, if you change that angle of viewing, 5th house, more than children, it is actually the mind.
Yes, Guruji.
It's actually the mind. So when you see the 5th Lord going to, there's somewhat, it's a minus actually to have 5th Lord in 6, 8 and 12, right? If you look at, it's not only about children. He's talking about so many things. I think one of them is maybe anger, right? 5th in 6, 8 and 12. I don't know. I don't remember the exact words.
Yes, Buddhi.
Even 5th Lord in 5th Lord in 5th also anger.
I opened it. See, 5th Lord in the 8th. Putra dosha, cough and pulmonary disorder, short-tempered, unhappy. Right? And I think, Vinod, you remember Mark Boni in his class, he opened up a new angle that a retrograde Jupiter doesn't do good. I don't know. Remember?
Especially with respect to health issues, health and all, retrograde Jupiter is
he's not helping, is it? But it's not mentioned in classical textbooks. But after I attended that course, I was just looking that wherever I saw this particular thing alone for health, something is, it's not really helping them.
Yeah, retrograde. And one more thing, general way of looking at retrogression is, sir, that when benefics are becoming retrograde, there is something very eccentric about that. So they are losing their benefic qualities. They are not completely benefic. There is something wrong about that. There is some twist in that benefic nature. That is one aspect of looking at it.
Yeah.
And if malefics are retrograde, sir, I have seen many examples where it is very dangerous. That too, if Mars is like, for example, for Virgo Lagna or for Gemini Lagna, if Mars is worst planet for these Lagnas, if that becomes retrograde and if it gets connected with the Lagna, then health is gone.
Oh.
That too, it is very dangerous for malefics to become retrograde. It will definitely affect the Bhava and whatever it is a serious affliction.
Yeah, I think even otherwise also in my retrograde videos I've done, I always say retrograde means it's got something more karma in it. It's got some more intent. It's got an intention which is higher than normal. Otherwise, why would anybody go back? Going back is not an ordinary event, right? So I compared it like I forgot my wallet, so I want to go home and get it again. I have something to check, maybe something very important. I left a document, so I have to go back. So this going back is somewhat very different from the normal going forward.
Yeah.
So there must be maybe the negative side of that planet comes out more.
And also that Jupiter is in Gandanta position. That is the point. It is not exactly the last 1 degree, but it is at
least very close. Okay.
28 or something
Sir,
like that.
Here, one more point about Jupiter, sir. Even though it is retrograde, sir, there is it is only 8 points for Chestapala, sir. And one more thing is Digbala is the only planet which has minus 25 points, Jupiter, in his chart.
Oh, I see. I didn't notice that. Is it in minus?
Yes, minus 25, sir, for Jupiter. Being it is fifth lord and Putrakaraka and everything.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Even it is retrograde, the Chatbala is not at all increasing because of the retrograde. Because Chestapala is 8 points only.
Okay. I'll do one thing. We will stop here because it's almost, like I think there must be a lot of people in USA and all, in different time zones. So we'll end here. We'll start again. And I'll send this part of the video to her after uploading it on YouTube. And it'll be only on YouTube membership. It'll never be for public. Okay. So thank you all for, I think this was really healthy with so many participations, and I should say thanks to Soumya and Sridevi, Kishore, Vinod, Anu. I think so many people, and Jyotish Kasi. That summary was too good. So I don't know if I missed out someone, please, because I was not attending the session completely. Everybody has contributed a lot of points in that text. So I'll be copy pasting that, and hope to see you in the coming week. Let's hope that everything is good in this world. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
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 Hari Om to everyone. Thank you.
Hari Om, sir. Thank you.
Hari Om, sir.
Oh, I have to copy paste that link that Soumya sent. Okay. Yes, I've taken it. I'll be sending it to her. Thank you.
Sir, you once said, sir, Saturn moon together in Rakana is not good for a married life, sir. Father has it, sir.
Yeah, it is one of the things for sannyas yoga.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Soumya, I've sent her the link. Okay. Sorry for the loss. Okay. There are a lot of good wishes from people. May justice be delivered, Aarti, Maheshwari, and so on. So we hope Satyameva Jayate. Okay, I'll be ending the meeting now. See you again.